That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me oh, just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me oh, just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit.
I am your savior. Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm this is Job Point, the original drama podcast on YouTube. Is that true? Probably not, right?
The original?
Probably not.
Who else? Who else is doing it before me? Everybody else is making videos on each other.
I don't think they were big either, but I don't think you were the first one.
I'm the first good one. Who's better?
Gotta give me some time to think of some names.
You know why you're really on the show? So you can't make fun of me because we have to talk about Gamergate. So
I know, isn't it funny? See, I was so surprised. The one person who can't stop talking about Gamergate since 2016, Gamergate 2 happens and you haven't talked about it.
Barely
it's been
spoken.
Almost 2 weeks.
Because I finally got sick of it.
I got sick. I'll
tell you what, Jeremy and all them burned me out of it.
That's fair, but you know what?
The funniest part
couldn't resist, Matt.
What?
I couldn't resist. Since he only watched a little bit of it, he was like, surely it's not that bad. You know what I did? I snuck my way into the after show last week, and I played and made him listen to the stream of her talking on the panel, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to make him listen to it.
Like,
the funniest part is that he literally walked into Gamergate 2 on accident by interviewing Ackman. Had no idea what was even going on.
idea, and it's even funnier. I called Judd Logic to kind of make a defense of Boogie. And, Chud's thing is like, you can't take it, which, by the way, is a fair criticism. Who knows if Boogie's being sincere? But then, and I said, no, I think he's being pretty sincere because it matches up some passing conversations that we had prior to lolcow. So unless he's being a phony to me right before this tweet went viral, and he could have had no idea it would have gone as viral as it did. Due to his views in recent days, in recent years, I said to Chud that I don't think it's while I think it's fair to make the criticism that it doesn't come from a sincere place when it comes to Boogie. I just told him, like, look, my experience with him is he's getting a little, especially when it comes to gaming, he's getting a little sick of this shit too. And by the way, there were deep conversations. There was something like, yeah, I'm getting sick of that. You know what? Yeah, I consider myself liberal, but this is going too far. These are the types of things that he said. I mean, even Wings has said some of those things. So imagine my surprise when I call in Chud Logic, and he's like, Keem put him up to this. This is I really don't know. I mean, if Keem put him up to this, he says it got like 14 million views. I'm like, what? I had no idea when I called into Chud just how much traction this thing got. Like, in a lot of ways, it probably got more traction when the Anita Sarkeesian incident was there. Mm-hmm. When he took it the ass from that side. And if you guys are real Shot from the Points fans, I lit up Boogie during that whole thing, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, too bad, dude, when the computer shut down. But they had my video next to this goofball's video. We'll get into this goofball later. I had for me, it was for a stream, it was like anywhere from 16K to 19K. And that's a touch much for me. And I was talking about Boogie, and then eventually me and Billy the Fridge got into it. So that all relates. So I went in and was like, well, I had no idea that and like he said, you don't think Keem put him up to this? You don't think you're going to do anything about this on the lolcow? And I was like, no. And then he told me the number, and I said, oh yes, we probably will. Yeah, Milenopolis, we are so back, boys. And I said, well, I go, Keem may have encouraged him to take a fucking stand and stick to it, which I completely believe. But I remember during Baited, Keem would bitch about Boogie being a fence sitter to me privately. So I could, but like, so I don't think Keem changed any like had some kind of devious plan to have this thing go viral and have Boogie take a stand for once. I think Keem's been encouraging to take him to take a stand on anything for the better part of the last decade, long before me. So yeah, I can only say I can't read into the guy's soul. It's entirely up to you whether you think he's sincere or not. I don't know how much it matters if he's sincere or not. Who gives a fuck? But I gotta call a spade, and he was talking like this in private, in passing conversation. Now, I don't think that makes it's sort of like when you're pro Gamergate, it doesn't make you a Nazi. It doesn't make him a right winger being pro or anti, or a communist if he's anti. I mean, it really is kind of funny, like how much. I think his Gamergate's a throwback, and Boogie is kind of a retro YouTuber in a lot of ways. That he really occupied that space. Now we're all talking like the SJWs. He really occupied that space very strongly. So I think people were kind of refreshed when he came out and said some stuff that may have pleased the right, so to speak. So how this thing got started was Tipster. Boogie becoming a quartering ripoff wasn't on my 2024 bingo card. Hey, is anybody fucking sick of that little cliche? I am. I used it just recently, and I realized how much other people are using it. Nobody writes their own stuff. But it should have been. He's lost a lot of relevancy in recent years. So have you. And the bank account isn't looking rather empty these days. That's a red herring. That's got nothing to do with whether he's right or wrong or thing. Let's see if they address his arguments. And being the lovable Mr. Rogers character, the editor wasn't working anymore because people got a chance to see behind the curtain and get a good look at the real Boogie 2988 is like. Hey, like if any, like people got to look behind this is so like, God, it's like autobiographical. You know the real Tipster, the guy that sucked off the alt-right directly when I was standing up against them, and when they were making my fun of my kid choking to death, you jumped on the bandwagon. Remember that, Tipster? You never apologized for it, even though you said to fucking Nick privately that you regretted doing it, which I don't think you regret really doing anything. It's about your relevancy. And surprise, surprise, they didn't like it. Not to mention the fact that the anti-woke grift is extremely profitable.
Okay, buddy.
You know why the anti-woke grift is extremely profitable? Because nobody can stand the woke. Shocking. I can imagine seeing folks like the Quartering and Millie Matt rake millions of cash on a grift that looks rather appealing, but has been with a career on life support, whose current claim to fame is being the co-host of a podcast hosted by Keemstar, where you were literally there for the purpose of being mocked by everyone on the internet, being a lolcow. You're a lolcow. And we'd be happy to have you on. You'd fit right in. And, like, I don't know, that I think that's a lot cooler going on, like, to kind of face the trolls rather than, just block everybody like you do. I think that's a lot cool. Sovereign of a God, for one, I welcome Boogie 2988 in the winning side of Gamer Games. But hey,
one for me and one for my gamer.
Yeah. But hey, a quick buck for a taste of clout. Oh God, Keffels. I mean, it is like no wonder people reacted had a visceral reaction to this. I mean, it's like pot kettle black. Even if it means siding with some of the worst people on the internet.
Who he sided with at one point.
And by the way, I never sided with the fucking alt-right. And he sided with the alt-right and kissed fucking their ass and to step over me.
Yeah.
So that's really infuriating. I actually stood up against them, and I am unabashedly right-wing, and that was way too far for me. The Ralphs of the world. Speaking of Ralph, isn't it just a fucking adorable? Listen to him talk about war crimes. Isn't it adorable that he is so concerned about the Palestinian people? It just tickles me pink.
I guess Boogie isn't the only one taking a stand this year.
By the way, I mean, along with that, we have a lot of conversations before the show comes on. Guess what other argument we got in with? I was pro-Israel, he was pro-Palestine. So I don't think it's so funny how, people like Tipster And I couldn't even say people like Tipster, because Tipster just copies other people. The only reason Tipster got in with the so-called commentary community is really like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. When we needed a signal boost, he's very easy to get on board, probably manipulate.
He's a follower.
He's a follower. So like, me and Nick would say, yeah, we're going to attack this situation that way. We'd have Augie on board, and all we have to do is give a call to Tipster, and he would just regurgitate. And he had.
You know what the problem?
What's that?
You know what the problem was was he was the one who would actually he'd do it, and he'd get too into it, and he'd actually lose.
Yeah.
He'd like lose to Mama Max and all these.
Yeah, he would go in. He would go in too hard because he didn't actually understand what we were saying. And I got news for you, Tipster. You were basically, through the whole Susie Lou thing, you were manipulated. Because we knew we could get you to say whatever we wanted. So all you had to do is, it's not like we had to like trick you. It's just we had to say, hey, this is our narrative. Okay, thanks. And you were more than willing to take the cash from Google at the end of the month. It was that simple.
Now he regrets it.
Mm.
All those mean things said about.
Yeah, he regrets. Let's go to the history of Tipster. He was a fucking suck off that fucking cried about cyberbullying and people like Keemstar. Then he sucked off Keemstar. Then he sucked off the alt-right crowd, the legit alt-right crowd, the Warskis, the fucking the worst of the fucking worst. When they're, we're talking about, he was like Ralph Warski, when they were talking about the fucking most horrible things about Jews, which is ironic because now he's back on that team, so he can hate Jews again, just from the left, not the right.
Do you have a clip of that?
Cholo Tipster, you don't understand. My cousin's nickname is Lolita. I love my little cousin, Holmes.
I love my little cousin.
Where's CS? Where's fucking? What's his face when you need him? Oh man.
Actually, I've been talking to him, so he probably could pop in.
I'd take him back any day. He's one of the funniest guys we ever worked with. So I hope for your sake the grift is worth it. Don't you hate when people say that? You know what that sounds like to me? Because a lot of these woke guys are religious kooks. Well, I hope you enjoy your time in the charred walls of the dam, disrespecting Jesus like that. I hope you enjoy it. I hope things work out for you. That's what it sounds like. But with Tipster, you can't even say it's that, because he'll say anything. Anything. Right? So let's see. He used these clips.
I was around for the last Gamergate. And if you guys remember, I was a bit of a notorious fence sitter during that period of time. I hated people being harassed online. I hated seeing people arguing online about this stuff. And I did feel like there was improvement the way that we...
Let's see.
I was around for the last Gamergate.
Hold on. You don't get to tell me. I'm just following orders. Yeah,
Claire,
you want to talk about a concentration Fuhrer, Claire? Yeah, like you want to talk about a concentration camp guard? I mean, you could throw him right in the list.
Yeah. And if you guys remember, I was a bit of a notorious.
And I usually say that to be like bombastic. With him, Jesus, I have no doubt in my mind he would lead the kids into the oven. No doubt. Or he would kill all the commies that got out of line in the Soviet Union. He'd be a guard over there.
Point, bitch. During that period of time, I hated people being harassed online. I hated seeing people
arguing
online about this stuff. And I did feel like there was improvement the way that we as content creators and writers and gaming companies could do a better job of calling out corruption in the industry and improving the way that we reported video games. And I'll tell you where that got me. It got me utterly cucked by Anita Sarkeesian, chewed up by the left, and spit the fuck out.
Hey, that statement is verifiably true. It's interesting that Tipster would use it. It's like two of the worst clips.
At the end of the day, I set the last one out, and I felt like I was on the wrong side of history there, and it certainly didn't serve me well. So, gamers, I've been granted a do-over here. At the end of the day.
Oh, if he said "Gamers Rise," I would have.
No. Dude, I was waiting for
shit.
Yeah. Gamers Rise up. It's our time.
Jesus Christ! So it's funny. The whole thing is he's insincere, and he probably gives an example of the two most sincere statements he could have possibly made. You could make a lot of arguments that he's being insincere, but you cannot make an argument that he was dogpiled on by the left for not washing Anita Sarkeesian's feet. That's you cannot doubt for a minute that he has a legitimate motivation to flip teams after he was treated by the team that he was sucking up to last time. You know, it's like
to play devil's advocate, Tommy. I think everyone but you has probably forgotten about Gamergate. I think you have a better memory than most. So perhaps maybe he forgot.
Yeah, perhaps he forgot. I finally stopped talking about it. Now I don't give a shit about Gamergate 2. I hate sequels. So he made a response.
2019, Tommy would be so happy right now.
No, I you know what I really think the panic over this was?
There'd be an arcade stream, there'd be a 4-hour
But Gamergate, whether he was a grifter or not, and he may have, I'm pretty sure he was, it gave rise to Milo Yiannopoulos. Not Milo Yiannopoulos, I wouldn't say he was single-handedly responsible, but at least from the online perspective, he was responsible for getting Trump elected. So Gamergate 2 happens. We have a weak Democratic president and months away from the election. It does not surprise me.
Sounds
That's
familiar.
sweet. Yeah, it does not surprise me that they're panicking this time, and they would go this hard on Boogie. By the time the situation with the Nerdy Sarkeesian, that was 2017, Trump was already president, and the whole thing was pretty much dead at that point. If you really remember, the Gamergate really ended at 2017 VidCon. It ended right there and then. Everybody went their own separate ways. Monday Matt became a fucking woke kook himself, you know, or the beginnings of it. You know, we got to see that people like Chris Reagan were in it were grifters, and really it kind of led back to Mediger sort of being about being right about, yeah, first this was a movement, and then it turned into, can you buy my rig because it's good money. You know, can you go fund me a new gaming rig? And that's exactly what it did turn into. There's plenty of criticism, and you'll find like the people that were on the Gamergate side became woke lunatics. Who was that guy? Jeff Holiday. You know, when in the riots in 2020, Jeff Holiday was calling for violence on an almost daily basis on his Twitter account. I know this because I followed him. And when I made even mild questions about what he was saying, I mean, he was completely disingenuous and bad faith. And I was always cool with him. So, I mean, you know, all this stuff fucking happened. So let's listen to Boogie's side.
After all of this Gamergate stuff started popping off, I decided to have a little fun on Twitter with this tweet here.
35 million fucking views.
I didn't realize it was that big.
I didn't realize it was that big till I called in to Chud, because Chud was like, oh, this is Keemstar, this is him doing stuff like that. And I'm like, no, there's no plan. I'm attesting to it. I'm putting my reputation on the line. Like, you know, Keem might be telling him to be more, like, be a man, stand up and stuff like that. But I don't think Keem told him to fucking do this. And here's the thing, like, Boogie's never stopped reporting on gaming news, ever. It just doesn't get the views it used to. Boogie took a lot of heat. Who was the other guy from the gaming TV show? That guy treated him like shit too.
You talking about the
one they tried to bring back that fell flat in its face. G2 or that gaming channel.
Oh, G4?
G4, yeah.
Adam Sessler.
Yeah, Adam Sessler was fucking ruthless to Boogie.
Yeah.
Ruthless to Boogie. You know, so like to say that he's just doing this for thing, he has a legitimate motivation. And I tell you something, if he does get paid over it, so what? Guess what he does for a living? He makes gaming videos. He's making gaming videos. He's doing what he always has done. I mean, nothing he's done is like out of the path. You want to say he's insincere? Go to it. You want to say he's a phony sometimes? I'll attest that he's been phony to me, phony on that podcast, and phony most of his fucking career. But I have no reason to believe, none, that this wasn't just a video game supposed to be fun, not lectures about why being a white man is bad. He's made comments like this to me. And I was like, oh, Jesus, Gamergate's over. Shut the fuck up, Boogie. I mean, you know, like
oh, that is so rich.
You're coming for me. Oh, come on.
You know the tides have turned when Tommy says "shut the fuck up" about Gamergate.
Well, I gotta people like Jeremy. No, I really didn't. People like Jeremy have warned me the fuck out of this shit. Well, they have warned me out.
I just think it's funny that Boogie brought this up as a conversation in private, and you're like, God damn, dude, Gamergate isn't that fucking big. Meanwhile, it's 35 million.
Well, he wouldn't say Gamergate, but he would make statements that would have been in line with the guy that yells about like, fucking pronouns.
You know You know
No,
how
I know.
when
It's just funny. The moment you lose interest is when it becomes huge
big
again.
again,
You're like,
yeah.
like,
well, because it was kind of like,
That's
you know
the
how
story.
Timpool's always like, there's a civil war on our hands. Like, accordingly, be like, there's a Gamergate's 2 is coming back. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, and just kept going.
Yeah,
and going,
and Quartering wasn't around during Gamergate. He's not a Gamergater.
Yeah,
he does not
came
qualify.
In, like, post Gamergate.
Yeah, he's a post Gamergate guy. He's 2017.
Yeah.
So and he even like he even does
have
this
a clip of
stupid
that?
thing. Boogie 298. Look, there's some truth. I'm not doing it sincerely. I just hate Mexicans. That's what this war is about. So and you know we haven't been super kind to Jeremy. We've called him a fucking grifter. We called him a no fun cop. We called him a fucking reverse SJW. You know, Nick did a whole video. It's like, you know, get woke, go broke, can't take a joke. Jeremy has proved over time and time again that he is no better than the people he criticizes when he throws a fit online.
Well, that's the common ground that a lot of this has, is like a lot of people that were making fun of the woke for not being able to take a joke can't take a joke themselves.
Can't take a joke.
There's
It's
a lot
funny.
of them like that.
Yeah. Or in Gamergate's case, some of them were fucking woke to begin with. They're just like, there's a lot of money in this. I think I could put fucking you know, Jeff Holiday in that category. It was a violent, raging communist. You know.
And a lot of people have asked me, do I stand by this tweet? And the answer is yes. Video games should be fun. They shouldn't be political lectures of pretty much any type. And whereas almost any sane person should agree with this tweet, a lot of people got hung up with the last couple of words. And most of the problem...
I don't know why, because the woke are always using words like whiteness, which is like the most racist shit I think you could say, you know, unless you buy into the fact that... unless you don't think you're being gaslighted when you're telling some college professor is like, no. All the things that are the antithesis of racism that's on our end isn't racist because we're the oppressed. If you actually buy into that gaslighting attempt, then Boogie's being a big phony.
were just a good time, except replies from one person, and that is Tipster. And that sucks because I normally abide by the fat guy code where fat guys tend to leave other fat guys alone if we can.
Rise up, can we
Tipster
secure the border?
drew first blood, and I'm going Rambo on his ass.
They drew first blood, not me.
Tipster saw my video talking about Sweet BB Incorporated and decided to post some clips from it, basically saying that I was now on the alt-right grift. And I wonder why someone like Tipster would think that of me. Well, it's classic projection. And if you watch this video by Turkey Tom, which I'm going to highlight chunks of here, but also link it down below, you'll get an idea of the type of person.
This is a guy that I was nice to out of nowhere when I was lucky enough to be selected for Baited. He warned me that it was going to ruin my life and what a horrible fucking person Keemstar was, but absolutely had no problem with teaming up with Keemstar when he got a chance. Like, it really is unbelievable.
That Tipster is. Specifically, Tipster is someone who tried to be a video game YouTuber and failed at that, then joined the commentary community and got kicked out of that community, so now instead he grifts...
No, he left.
...the Rainbow Coalition, and is
took
also
his severance. He quit. He didn't get fired.
Kicked out. You know, talk about a group of people that stuck up for him no matter what, no matter how far he took it. And here's another thing. This is why Tipster's got an IQ of a hockey puck. Here's somebody who can't be coached. I get coached. I get optic checked. But you go to Tipster, it's like, this is why it's not working. This is why you're losing 20 fucking accounts when you just out of nowhere decide to start calling furries degenerate and then they get your account banned for the 15th time straight. Or going after my personal favorite, which is ironic now. He had a big thing where he would just find the what are the ones, the pedos that the non-offending pedophiles, what do they call them? Isn't there a name for them?
Maps?
Maps, yeah. He would go after, he would just pick a fight with those crazy maps, which was like a whole protected group under old Twitter. Thank you, Teddy. And he'd get banned for that. He would always pick fights that he couldn't fucking finish. You know, and it'd be like he's literally taken every single side you can possibly imagine from the left to the right to the center. Yeah. Every single side.
he would pick fights that he couldn't finish. He's also picked fights that he would concede to and apologize for, like Mama Max. He'd completely roll over
he tapped out to him.
And then he tried to fucking be like, "Oh yeah, well I'm glad Mama Max is getting his just desserts because me and Tommy we went through the ring of fire against these guys."
His stolen valor. Me and Tommy served in this war.
No. Like that happened to me because I stand by my principles. I'm not constantly flipping from.
Didn't he apologize in about 4 hours or something?
Yeah, he apologized.
It didn't even last 10 hours.
Mama Max used the apology on his video and just fucking like, it wasn't nothing. He just rolled right over.
He used it as a tap out. He used it as a tap out. And why he used it? Because Tipster was considered in my circle at the time.
Yep.
So here's one thing. If you want to think Boogie's just doing this for views, which at this point I'm sure he is, but it's not like he's killing it. He's got 13K here. You know, that's not good Boogie numbers. But if you
look at the comments too, everyone's like, I didn't know who this person was until just now. Like nobody even knows who Tipster is. He's not going to get any views off of Tipster's name. He's just
the commentary community's niche. It had its run in like 2015-16, and that was it. It's niche. It was sort of a spin-off. It was a young person's movement, like adjacent to Gamergate. That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was.
You know what Tipster's strategy is? Start a fight with someone. Get into a big back and forth, get stressed out, apologize, concede to everything, and then when that person gets into shit, like months later, jumps back on the bandwagon and starts shitting on him again. That's the Tipster strategy.
Yeah, it's like, he's one thing. He called Boogie a phony, man, but like, if I had to rank phonies, you're ahead. You know.
Do that. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to talk about this live stream where Tipster had to go live last night for 45 minutes to talk about what an anti-woke grifter he thinks I've become. Spoiler alert, I'm no grifter. I just think sometimes it's right to call out bad people for doing bad things. And if I'm...
Funny how that word is used for every time you hear something that you don't like that's like if I make a statement that's popular, you're grifting.
You can't possibly have a different ideology than me. You're just grifting for money.
Yeah.
You can't really hold that opinion. My opinion's right.
Yeah, my opinion's right.
I'm in the company
which
of people...
also is a perfect way not to engage and not to prove Boogie wrong.
Like
you don't even want to have an honest conversation. You're just grifting. So there's no point for me to engage or have a conversation with you. Really convenient, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You don't want to ever challenge your own views or ever have a conversation or actually back your own ideas because you don't hold your own ideas. So how convenient is that? You don't have to talk about it if you don't know what you're talking about.
And if anybody doesn't hold their ideas more than anyone that I personally know on the internet, besides maybe, I don't know, like Mundane Matt and Chris Raygun, right? It would be Tipster. You've seen this a million times from a million different guys.
I feel pretty comfortable doing it. So I just wanted to
highlight. I
highlight.
also want to say something else. People do change their political ideologies, but not usually in their late 30s and 40s.
Yeah, but you don't flip your whole personality basis, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a complete shift. You can change opinions and shift more to the middle, or maybe more in one direction.
Who was that other guy? The guy that got his girlfriend shot up fucking a couple months ago. What was that guy's name? He was he flipped teams too. Ian Miles Chung flipped teams. Everybody that was involved. Hunter Avalon, Ian Miles Chung, to a lesser extent Chris Raygun, like all Jeff Holiday, all these guys. It seems like the ones that actually stand, like, pretty much stand for what they stand for. I don't know. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Okay, buddy. I hope what's her name's not in there. Kraut and myself actually take the shit. Stolen valor is terrible. But Tommy didn't bow or bitch, and that's why he's my favorite angry old white man. Thank you.
Tipster had to say in this live stream.
Didn't that guy steal money?
So he's saying like Alan Wake 2, God of War, Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2. He's saying these games were too big to fail.
Tommy didn't even catch it.
But then he's talking about how, like, Suicide Squad.
What I missed.
Magnetar donated and the verse was like, didn't that guy steal money?
It was a stinker, which I hear it is a pretty bad game.
I don't know, Tipster. What do you think Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, and God of War 2 have in common? It's the number 2. Those video games are sequels to very well-loved games that had very little politics in them and a shitload of fun. The industry knows that's a really good time to shove politics down your throats because you're going to buy it anyway, so it's a good time to get you to sit down and listen to
disaster that game.
This is literally just about being treated poorly by Anidia Sarkeesian at VidCon. So he was speaking out against like Gamergaters at the time, right? And now he's decided he wants to join them.
That's actually not true by Tipster. He was fence sitting at that time. He would say he would give a little bit to the Gamergaters, not enough to give him anything, and he wouldn't give absolutely everything to the left.
Yeah,
and then he would get
2016 Boogie never formed an opinion.
No,
I think everybody knows that.
It's honestly an art, bro.
Yeah, it really is.
He was fucking great.
That fucker did ballet, dude. He was impressive.
I beat Anita Sarkeesian there because I got invited back to VidCon the next year and she didn't. Also, I'm dating my dream girl, and Anita just celebrated her birthday party by having a fake wedding. So I feel like I'm winning. And no.
That fake wedding picture was hysterical. The only thing that it would have made it better if there was a fucking bunch of cats behind her. That's the only thing that would have made it better.
Well, that panel wasn't about Gamergate. It was about online
just like a fucking chorus of cats. Like
just like a bunch of cats. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah.
Move the litter box over in the corner so it's not in the picture.
How fucking disconnected do you have to be to do something like that or attend something like that? That is so fucking retarded.
You have to be loveless.
Surely like a core group of that friend group went to somewhere else afterwards and like that was fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. There's a few guys there. Like
we need to stop hanging out with Anita. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, probably 3 guys have been trying to get in her pants for the past 15 years and they haven't been able to do it. And they're finally like, you know what? Maybe this is fruitless.
From people on the right.
Because she's 40 now, right? She's like 41, 42. Yeah.
The left or even the middle. And if Gamergate 2.0 comes out to being some sort of harassment campaign, I will distance myself from the harassment, but I'll still say the video games are supposed to be fun. Liking fun video games and thinking they shouldn't be taken over by identity politics isn't harassment. You have to be an extra kind of stupid to think that I'm aligning myself with terrorists just because I'm sharing
that. What is he going to be lining himself up with the people that fucking make his life miserable? Like, really? Really?
Like, didn't Ethan Ralph go on lolcow Live and be like, oh, you liked it when you were molested by your dad? Like,
yeah. He loves those guys. He loves those guys.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's me, Francis. And you know, last time this Gamergate thing happened all those years ago, I'm gonna side with all the racists and the Nazis and stuff like that.
And that even itself makes him look so good. Because if you don't agree with me, you're a racist and a Nazi. You know, it makes him look.
You know what's really crazy about this clip, though? As shit as that video is, right? Obviously, he's just fucking talking at a screen or whatever. That is still better content than what Tipster is creating right there in this clip. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It is, but it's
because they seem to think I'm a really cool guy.
I don't even know where to start with that, other than the fact that he genuinely thought he was doing something there. And it's really great that he's that stupid. It is nice to see him just admitting that he thinks that if you like fun video games and you don't want to be pandered to in those games, that you are a racist and a Nazi. And it's
like, is there anything he's saying that's like that far out there? It's a measured take. It's a measured take. You're not allowed to deal. They're the Nazis. They're the racists. Like I've said it for a minute. Kevin's the biggest Nazi on the internet. Uses intimidation.
Tommy, that poster of Boogie in the background, if you look in the top left, is doing a Hitler salute.
Yes, clearly.
He could be dog whistling.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
It's awesome to
see him throw up the white
that.
power sign.
Dog whistling. It's a whistle that only fucking lefties can hear.
Anybody who knows me in my audience knows that I do not overuse terms like, you know, racists and Nazis.
I'll just let somebody else do it.
I'll just let my girlfriend do it.
And by now, you all know these are just buzzwords they use when they don't have a valid argument against the fact that video games should be fun. These people just do not understand that video games...
But if video games are fun, that means they don't have a platform to fucking sell their communism. Can you imagine if Christians did this? At least when Christians made Christian video games, they made their own company and tried to get around Nintendo's policies back in the 80s. You know?
It'd be funny if you're playing Spider-Man and Spider-Man's like, yeah, we can't have sex. We're not married. You know, we'd burn in hell.
Yeah, it would make insane. And it would have the same reaction. I am old enough to remember Jack Thompson. You know?
It'd be really funny, though, if they did the cheat code and just did anal. Wouldn't that be a crazy Spider-Man game?
for us is a form of escapism to escape real-world politics, and we're not here to pay $70 to be lectured to.
When I was showing my quote tweet, right? That's because Boogie couldn't handle my criticism.
Oh yes, because your criticism was so valid and had so many arguments in it.
Sounds like he's handling it.
Tore him down.
It sounds like he's handling it perfectly. You know?
He couldn't handle
what about back to the Christian thing? What about a side quest where Wolverine's got to save an aborted baby?
Yeah, there you go. You want that? You want that? And let me ask you something.
Wolverine,
if you don't think those fucking Christian kooks wouldn't stick that in the game just like these left-wing kooks would, you're crazy. They would. They would. They absolutely.
Speaking of Wolverine, not to do a tangent, Matt, but have you seen the new thing they announced with what's his face?
What?
With fucking Deadpool.
What about it?
With the movie?
So they announced a new, I believe it's series with Deadpool and Wolverine that has to do with a superhero per universe, and to destroy that universe, you kill the superhero, which is coming out in July. You know what's really funny about that?
What's that?
What?
That is the entire premise of Vito's comic that is still not coming out yet.
No way.
They're doing it, and it's going to be out before Super Killer. Dick is having a field day with it. I can't wait to watch the next fucking stream where he's just like, "Hey, you were too fucking slow, Fatso," and they're making a fucking whole movie before you can make a comic.
Yeah, is it really out of? I mean,
is it doing Vito's idea
why not?
in a movie before?
Well, does it surprise you when you hire no talent fucking hacks that live in the internet? Of course they're gonna steal Vito's shit. Of course.
It's so funny.
So wait, that's good.
They always give him shit about like when's the comic gonna be due? Give me a due date. And he's like, well, sometime around the summer. And they're like, well, now you have a due date, July 24th, 2024.
That's his plot of the movie,
Tipster,
right? Vito's fucking comic.
Vito probably should.
Yeah.
If that's true, Vito might have a
superhero.
If that's true, Vito might have a lawsuit in his hands. We're releasing.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Funny. No, I don't think so.
No.
Oh, people have sued Hollywood for less.
Works, right?
And people have sued Hollywood for less and won.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If it's all ideas, can you really steal it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
Yes.
You could do
Absolutely.
A lawsuit. Like there was the lady that claimed that Terminator and Matrix stole her ideas. But the problem is the story published at all?
I don't think the story has to be published, but if the copyright would help, and he probably got it copyrighted before he released it.
Yeah,
it's not out yet. That's the problem.
No. It could be copyrighted right now. In fact, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I understand. That.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
He has it.
That's all right. We'll get the Vito some other time and later.
Vito wouldn't sue them anyways.
Yeah, he got the money. He got the money.
Oh yeah, who's gonna win, the MCU or Vito?
Yeah, no.
Guys, let's all donate money to the pedophile to beat the.
I'll tell you how he could do it if he was a person of color. Because then he would get tons of support just on that alone.
All right, Vito and black.
He did get black face paint. Yeah, he got black face paint. They sent him. They sent him lipstick, a black afro, and black face paint.
Imagine how good the biggest problem in the universe will be if Vito sues the MCU. Holy shit, that'd be some.
I just can't wait to watch Dick razz him the whole fucking show about it. It was already bad enough. He's gonna have to do that, and then they're gonna make fun of him for being fat and make him step on the scale. It really is just torture Vito for 4 hours.
Hey, guess what? We got a good lawsuit coming your way, D-Max. You can cover this one.
On Twitter, almost for no reason. People seem to like it when I do it. They wear it as like a badge of honor. Oh, look, Boogie blocked me. And also, I don't have to deal with their bullshit. But Tipster, that's not why I blocked you. I blocked you because you were a disgusting, depraved human being. It was just last month that you were defending drawn photos of child pornography, and that just irks me in the worst way humanly possible. Your only online friend left is Keffels, and she threw you under the bus because you were defending child pornography.
Not true. She took down the video and then said, I'm sorry.
Be Mr. Rogers, but at least I don't have a history of both harassing online e-girls as well as online trans women. You call me a grifter because I broke my silence on this whole video game topic. You're the one who left the commentary community to go fleece the LGBTQ. You want to...
Okay, buddy.
Ice cold. Yeah, that's exactly what
I
he
sent
did.
you his initial reaction to that for later.
Okay, hold on.
People warned me about aligning myself with the right. Well, you know what? That's not something I plan to do. I just want to align myself with people who like video games, and there's plenty of people on the left that do that. But you're choosing to ally yourself with the left and only the left, excluding...
Extremist left. It's not even left. I don't know, fucking Kraut's a lefty. He's not extremist.
By the way, apparently Tipster's channel is shadow banned.
How do we know?
From what I'm reading on Twitter.
You won't be able to search for it.
Yeah,
I'm blocked by it, so. But what is it again?
What, Tipster? The channel?
Yeah, I'm blocked by it.
Yeah, not on Twitter. I'm talking about YouTube. YouTube.
Oh, yeah. You have to look up Tipster Lolly for his account to come up now.
Yeah, like if you look up Tipster, his channel
search Tipster Lolly.
Do you think though that's all the people like reporting his channel?
I'm not sure.
No, I think just every other video made on him is way more popular than anything he's ever made in the last decade. So it makes sense why his wouldn't be pushed to the top. But if you look, his apology about Lolly is really popular. So if you search Tipster Lolly real quick, Tommy, just put space and then Lolly. LOLI. Don't come on. You don't have to pretend that hard. We know you don't watch it. Just fucking type it in.
No, I just wanted to see if it would have completed. The platform.
Right there. My response to the drama.
Yeah. So that's the only way to get
the drama. That's the only time you get Tipster's channel if you search for lollies when you get his channel in the search results.
Dude, everything is like anti-Tipster. Like all the videos.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, like that's exactly what you said to Boogie. You know,
happens to be in the middle or the right, and that's a really bad plan for you. The reason you're failing at everything you're trying to do.
His Tipster fucking like pissing and moaning about harassment, but he was more than willing to like tweets to his former friend when the alt-right was framing me as somebody who fucking lets my kid choke to death. It was funny. And maybe it was. I don't fucking know. But yeah. Jesus
right now
Christ.
is because you're trying to appeal to the left, but you're such a vile, disgusting person that even they don't want to have anything to do with you. Regurgitating the left's talking points.
They probably don't trust him. And there's a possibility they probably think he's a plant from us. I could see that. You know, a lot of people took initially when Ian Miles Chung flipped teams, and you can thank Sargon for this. They said, "No, the guy's a fucking phony. Don't take it." And then Sargon went on a rant, and he said, "Well, we gotta, you know, when people, you know, sort of see the light, you know, you gotta welcome them." Well, as it turns out, Ian Miles Chung wasn't the guy to welcome in. You know, he got even just more. He got more extreme. I'll even go to fucking. I've seen him post like stone racist shit, in my opinion.
Only get you so far. And when somebody on the left finds out that you harass women or defend child porn, they don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm not here to talk about the left or the right or anything in the middle. I'm just talking about video games and people being informed whether or not a certain company worked on it so they can choose whether or not to spend their hard-earned money on that. And why is that difficult for you to understand? Because, Tipster, it's exactly people like you that I'm trying to avoid when it comes to video games. People who preach tolerance in one hand and attack everyone they can on the other. People defending child pornography. People harassing women. You are the exact kind of person I play video games to get the hell away from, and I don't want your politics in my video games. And that
he doesn't have any, so don't worry about it. Teddy, okay, the funniest version is if you type Tipster Lolly channel show. Tipster's Lolly channel show, it doesn't even show up. Just
should be okay, I think. I'm not trying to appeal to the right or Nazis or any of that shit. I'm just speaking what I believe to be true. The video game should be fun. And I think it's so sad and sick that you can't see that. I don't have problems with anybody on the left or the right as long as they're not extremists. And if you're an extremist, you can go fuck yourself. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to appeal to anybody other than the fact that some people like video games and some people want them to remain fun and some people don't want motherfuckers fucking with that. And if you're an extremist, go fuck yourself. And if you're not an extremist, well, you can come join that. And let's play some video games together. Helldivers 2 is pretty good, and the new Final Fantasy has been really great so far. So, Tipster, now I'm done with you, and I'm going to go back to blocking you because I don't want you accidentally retweeting lolly porn onto my timeline, because you've done that. You've done that.
Wait a minute, has he done that?
Well, he's talking about back in February last year.
Don't want to see it. Yeah, I rarely choose to make videos like this. I rarely choose to respond. And when I do, I always try to keep some decorum. But you deserve none of it. You are down to the last shred of internet dignity that you had left. And that person's name was Keffels. And even she can't stand you anymore. I'm done with you too. As
ice cold.
Got it.
As always.
I gotta say, when I watch this,
yeah,
If every fucking Boogie video is like this, I'm watching it. Notifications are on. I'm clicking this shit.
I got to be honest with you. His reviews of video game, he still is one of the best reviewers on the fucking planet. At one point in time, he was probably one of the most, but he's still. I mean, I remember. I think it was over the summer. He had done something. It was before during the lolcow mess. During the whole lolcow mess, I just kind of I was trying to brush it up because I hadn't watched his content in since 2017 when I was criticizing him, and he's still really good at it. And say what you want about Boogie, I don't know how smart he is. Tipster and him share something in common. I don't know if they're particularly bright people, but they have they're good communicators, the both of them. And it just goes to show you, just because you can give a fucking speech doesn't mean you got anything going on upstairs. People can deliver speeches well. It's like being an actor. I mean, if somebody plays Martin Luther King, it doesn't mean they're influential people or as smart as Martin Luther King or even believe a market. They're actors.
Have a clip of that?
Philip Butts, roses are red, violets are violet. Tipster did 9/11. He was the pilot. So,
because video games are the one thing that Boogie actually knows about, and you can tell when he's talking about it. It's not. Yeah,
he's a good communicator. There's no doubt about it.
I think the video you're talking about is the worst games of 2023 is the one you're talking about, I think, or the top games of the year. I think it was.
It was. I even complimented it because I put it on to torture myself, and then I ended up liking the video. As far as I'll tell you what I did. I put it on, and I'm like, okay, I'll put this on my other screen, and then I'll play a game, and that's what you're supposed to do with the gaming content. So, mission accomplished. He's still very good in that area. Whether you like it, the problem is you're judged on your character and your content in this business because it's YouTube. It's about you. It's this relationship right here. The asshole talking to the camera. And for some reason, I mean, I still like the occasional Michael Jackson song, and I think he fucking molested kids. I mean, it's
just that with Twitch streaming and TikTok and everything, that part is so embedded now that even content creators that make video content can't escape that anymore.
No, they can't. It's just you
used to be able to make your shit and get out, and you're like, oh, you watch that? And
you
you're
can't.
Like, fuck, this is
now
awesome.
You make your
shit.
And
anything else. You can't.
See, once you make your
the
shit,
brand matters.
Yes, look what happened. PewDiePie
matters,
really made that because people found out who he was, like what kind of person he was, because he started displaying more of that, and everybody liked him because he's like a great guy, So that everybody else started doing it, and the problem is not everybody that makes content, shocker, is can pass all the purity test. All right, this is how we got here. Who is this broad? Kim Beller.
She looks like the girl from Commando.
Yeah, she's kind of cute. I gotta be honest with you. So, well, I guess let's get an idea what she's about.
Yeah, if you watch the first 3 seconds, the whole defense was, well, Sweet Baby Inc., they're more narrative writers and they do some DEI, but they self-admitted on their website and in this video say, yeah, we do a little bit of narrative work, but it's really, I'll just let her say it.
Yeah, okay.
Just let
writer,
her say it.
I'm a narrative designer, I'm extremely nervous, and I'm the co-founder of a little narrative development company called Sweet Baby Inc. We do narrative development in games and kind of beyond, and we try to bring a lot of inclusion, diversity, and new ideas kind of to the industry. So just as a kind of fun fact, last year was actually my first GDC, and I first pitched this talk as part of the program Amplifying New Voices, if anyone has heard of it. Yes. I think it's also kind of appropriate that that's where I talked about this because it's also what my talk is about in a lot of ways. So, hi. For a little bit of background on me, I've been a professional writer.
You had a pair of underoos when you were a kid?
Writer for about 12 years, but I've always written stuff. I think that's always the way. But when
now I write other people's stuff.
I was a kid,
or tell other people how to write.
And I want to start at the beginning here because I think that it's important to kind of give context to the way I learned about representation as a woman of color, and I think the way that a lot of marginalized people kind of get socialized when it comes to topics like this. So when I was small and starting to kind of express myself creatively in either writing or stories or art.
Telling somebody to fucking put a black guy where a white guy is not creative. It's It's just propaganda. There's nothing creative about it.
Self-insert is one thing. A well-written character with a background that fits their personality is another thing.
Just tell, but imagine creating something and somebody like her leans over your shoulder and says, "This is what you should be doing." There's nothing creative about that. There's nothing creative about that. It's really no different.
Them, isn't it?
It's no different than some Soviet apparatchik making sure you're towing the party line. It really isn't.
I wrote about myself a lot. And I would put myself into a lot of art, into a lot of narratives, and I put my family and people who look like me in all of these cool scenarios. And I was
you were Little Red Riding Hood. Well, somebody else wrote that.
Telling all these stories where I got to see myself, I got to see people who look like me, and kind of a rainbow of people who were kind of adjacent to me in a lot of ways. And I think it was really neat, and I was really fostered in that. So when
that's not writing. There's nothing creative about that. Let's get that. There's absolutely nothing creative about that.
1816.
Yeah, I want to start even here.
Shot for the point,
a marketing degree. I really do have one. And,
yes.
And she really has to tell you she has a marketing degree because she's going to tell you basically everything you know on how to make money. She's going to contradict it. It's really funny.
Marketing degree. And so I want to put on that very mercenary hat for a second and talk about the way that we decide
I love
how
prefacing before you share your opinion is like, listen, guys, I know it's going to sound retarded, but I do have a degree.
Yeah, I do have a degree because I'm about to say
always a really good.
I'm about to say absolutely everything that you've been taught doesn't work.
We're going to sell the art that we make and how we're going to approach the audiences that we make it for.
They don't make anything. They just tell people what to do.
Because I think so often when people like us get told, from higher ups or from society at large, this isn't what players want, it's not a conversation about content, it's a conversation about demographics. And I think that in our industry and in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change.
They wouldn't be core demographics if they weren't static. Think about it. If you're feeding, if you have a static group of people, they're going to have a static set of values. No shit.
Something that is locked in place.
Yeah, you're not really going to invest in a volatile business, right? Kind of needs to be a little grounded.
Yeah.
Like the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males. And we cater almost exclusively to them.
Why? Why? Why is that? Why is that?
And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them the way that we cater to like a picky baby.
Listen to this.
We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go. You love it. Eat this.
Sounds like capitalism.
Eat this, so that then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which is be like, whoa.
So I guess she believes if they'd been feeding her other stuff all along, they would have liked it. This group with this static set of values. That doesn't make any sense either. You wouldn't even have that group.
Sounds to me like you just wouldn't have them as a core.
You wouldn't have them at all.
Anymore.
They wouldn't have them a core.
No, thank you. I do not want this.
You'd have other people that relate to your other whatever you're making, right?
Can you imagine?
And then you'd have a different core demographic, but they'd be smaller because obviously that's the biggest demographic. It's the most basic one. Of course, that's the primary one.
This is 20 years earlier. This is how scared the DEI thing has people. This person would have been This person would have laughed out of the worm. Somebody that makes decision is like this psychopath's going to lose his millions. Get her out of here. But they're so terrified, they're willing to. It's almost like a tax write-off. Like they're willing to take the loss just to kekeep these people at bay. It's really incredible.
And we've actually done this.
She's coming up with a formula that's guaranteed to lose money, and she's actually telling you that's the case. Our ideas, your people hate.
It's literally just sacrificing cost for conflict, and it's like
and nobody could get up and say that without getting fired. Yeah. Are we really just sacrificing cost for conflict? So we're going to take in less money, and we're going to make our and we're going to tell these people they're babies. My last time I checked, when you tell a baby they're a baby, they don't particularly like it. How do we win in the end? Bitch. What is our bottom line after this plan is enacted?
This so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do. Just in case these picky
What do you want to do?
babies don't want to play our games. And we've made a lot of progress. Obviously, like, I don't say this to completely go like, just give up. We've
that is such a funny take to say. Well, I guess this is 2 years ago, but like in the current climate now, private studios and people just making their own games, that is AAA games now.
Yeah.
Like you have Lethal Company and all this shit. These are the popular games.
Yeah.
Not the quote unquote quadruple A fucking garbage they're trying to make you pay $80 and it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, that's another thing.
It's bigger now than ever.
I wonder if that has to do with hiring people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Is why every time there's a AAA release, there's all sorts of problems.
But I think it's still
or a AAA re-release,
it's
like the Star Wars
people...
game that just came out. That should have been like fucking eight that was like 8 gigs total on Xbox Live. Is now 50 gigs and nobody likes it, and it doesn't work very well. You know, like people get mad when they think doctors are going to get worse and planes are going to start falling out of the sky. Well, look at the other things these people have gotten hold of. It's a legitimate fear. Everything fails. You know?
The nice thing when you're a studio like that, though, is you can be like Helldivers 2, where they say, hey, can you add this? We want this. We want more representation of this. I think there should be more of this in your thing that you're making. I want this. I'm telling you how to make your thing. And they can say, no, that doesn't fit what we're doing.
They can't, but they can't say
that's
no.
But
they can't say
no, they do. Helldivers did.
Helldivers did. Okay.
They said it does not fit, which other studios cannot. But you know,
no,
that's
they can't.
the perk of it. And that's why those games are doing so well, because those are people making what they want to make, and they're not being implemented.
I also wonder if we're going to see I wonder if we're going to see the day where the DEI score being low actually shows an increase in profit. Because all you have to do is make the public aware of the DEI score, and it's like a low DEI score. This game must be great, you know. You know
what the problem is with that, Tommy, is they're filling in that gap in cost with influence, right? That's almost more important for these people. So it doesn't matter if you're taking like a 5%, 15% cut on cost when you're getting a 20%, 25% increase in influence.
Yeah,
because that's more important to them than being a business.
The influence is more important. That's it's
like,
it's why YouTube never broke even. You know, because it's who cares if it makes money? It still has the influence. Like it's why they're so pissed off at Elon Musk. He's lost billions on this Twitter thing. And probably will continue to lose billions, but so does everybody else. You know, and it wasn't like Twitter wasn't losing money before. You know, it's the influence.
Yeah, they were hemorrhaging money with a way bigger employee base.
But guess who has more influence than they did?
Losing in a different way.
Guess what Elon Musk bought? Influence. It's the same thing. Just that it depends on the left can't stand when the right does the same thing the left does.
Amazing that I can be seated in a meeting and told that out of 12 characters, we already have one black one, so there can't possibly be a second.
It's funny.
I get that way too.
Do this. It doesn't fit. Do this or else. Okay, I stick it in. We wrote it. You know, like we wrote. No, you didn't write shit.
Much. And I once worked on a project.
They do narrative writing as well, so they'll make those suggestions and then they'll write in stuff to fill in small gaps.
The guy's gotta do it.
You know, when you pick up an item and there's some lore in it, just small shit like that, different things like that. They'll write that in.
It's run by 2 Turkish German guys, so I don't know. I came very close to get hired by Crytek here in Frankfurt. I'm wondering. When I get that job, I thought like this is a monumental shift in my life. I'm never going to get a good job like this over here because they needed English speakers. And I'm wondering if I'd have gotten hired by Crytek, Gamergate would have happened, and I would have had a fucking meltdown in the office. I'm not doing this shit. Like, it completely goes against everything I believe. But maybe the Turkish brothers that run that thing, maybe they told them to go fuck, you know.
Where they had an all-white cast, and they expressed their desire, like, okay, we need to mix it up a bit. How about this character's kind of like stereotypically French? So they have a beret, and they have like a striped shirt. And I was like, okay, if you need to do that, can we at least make them a person of color? And they said, oh no, that would be weird. They're already French. So
but you know what's weirder? Like I know black Frenchmen. They don't fit the beret fucking stereotype. Yeah. You know, if anything, they're sort of counterculture. A black Frenchman would be more likely a counterculture person. Hey, bring the Frenchman in here. He'd probably back me up on that. So it doesn't even make much sense. If you want to make somebody stereotypically French, they would be Caucasian. Shocking. If you want to make somebody stereotypically Vietnamese, they would be Vietnamese.
I want to do better than this.
That's better?
Because, and I don't say that to be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to dismiss all the hate and the abuse in our communities. But I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here.
Not for long.
I think that when we look at you, we say, okay, you can't possibly enjoy this. But I think they want also, and maybe you want also.
I don't think any man can enjoy that. And I'll tell you why, regardless of color, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, a woman might be able to, oh, isn't that cute? There's a gay French guy talking like a white guy and behaving like a stereotypically white Frenchman. And a girl looks like that and might say, that's cute. And a guy's like, that doesn't fit, because guys, they're weird like that. It's got to make sense. It's got to be real, you know? And I'm speaking generally. But I mean, that's kind of why it doesn't work. I don't think it doesn't work is because I can't stand black people. It doesn't work because it doesn't make sense. And you can't connect with this character that doesn't make sense. If somebody, I mean, like, let's make a character that's stereotypically French and give him an English accent. Like, doesn't make any sense.
To
You're just a baby. You're just a baby. You know?
It's new and different stories. I think we need to step out of this rule that like white men can enjoy fantasy worlds, aliens, sci-fi, monsters, anything, so long as it's through a lens that looks exactly like them.
See, I reject that completely. It's got to make sense. And when it doesn't make sense and it's rejected by those white guys, they say, well, you can't stand black people.
Because if that's the kind of person that we're always going to cater to, you're never going to innovate. You're never going to change things. You're just going to
You're not talking about innovation. You're probably shoehorning your political ideals in there. That's not like innovation. Harassment, criticism, harassment. You know, innovation, political propaganda. You know,
feeding the picky baby, and we cannot.
It's like, I watched Willie Mack's video. And he was so smart to get Kevin saying she's a lightning rod over and over. I'm a lightning rod. I'm a lightning rod. Well, you can't be a lightning rod and a fucking victim of electrocution. You know? They want it both ways. They want to be the hero and the maiden in distress.
Not continue to try to create art under a system that is going to bar innovation for fear of.
You can't continue to create art with people that aren't artistic. And only have political motivations. That's what it really is.
Picky baby throwing a tantrum. And I really don't think that it's impossible to change this, because as like a woman of color, I have played with and like empathized with a lot of white men. I have played as Kratos.
I bet they were realistic.
Wait, now we get to listen to her talk about how she wants to fuck fake characters. This is great.
Is Kratos white?
Really? Kratos? She's Greek, so barely.
Who's like literally
he was
white.
Like his own race.
Yeah, I think Kratos is a god. He's a Greek god, right?
Yeah, he's a Greek god. Like,
I've played as Nathan Drake. I've played as Arthur Morgan, and I've loved it. And I don't think it's like pie in the sky thinking to go like, hey, maybe we can invite white dudes.
I don't think I ever thought for 1 minute, and I love fucking Red Dead Redemption. It might be the greatest video game ever made. Definitely the best story that I came across. And it's like, Jesus, he's white. I feel good. Like subconsciously,
Kratos is black, Tommy. By the way, that's what they're saying in the chat. He's just white. The white is from the ashes of the dead.
Well, actually, his features are kind of African-esque.
Also, isn't his voice actor a black man?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
that's a weird fucking first example.
Yeah.
To play as other
Kratos,
people.
Kratos looks like Lord Vega. Like,
yeah,
I look white.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Sure.
I just hopped in. I just felt like the panel was too white.
Yeah. Well, we do have a guy with a missing stuff here. We do have a white guy with a missing leg, so you got to give us something here.
Okay, partial credit.
This is great. You're a person of color that actually creates good art. This is a rarity. You can say. You know, I was thinking, Tom, when you were playing.
Why don't you challenge people, Vega? Why don't you come up with a white guy that just beats up black people because he's tougher than them? You think that'll wash? No, it won't. Oh, video games, fun, $50. She could play me if she wants. I gotta be honest. She's cute, huh? The girl, what's her name?
She got crazy eyes, bro.
Yeah, she does.
She does look like, she literally looks like, I can't remember the actress's name, but she was in Commando.
Yeah. She looks like she looks like Domino from Deadpool a little bit.
Ray Dawn Chong.
Ray
Dawn Chong, the actress, yeah.
Yeah, she reminds me of Domino a little bit. Which, by the way, fucking the girl that played Domino is awesome. Hey, there's an example. Like, you just sit there and say, most people like that fucking movie. Domino was awesome in that, and I think she was gender swapped, correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not.
I mean,
maybe.
I think she was gender swapped. That girl did a good job. She was like perfect for the role.
It's different things through someone else's eyes, and if they don't like it,
I think what happens is like you could do like I think Apex Legends does diversity reasonably well, except when they deliberately.
I've never seen you lose your shit while listening to Crypto's voice lines.
What? Not Crypto. The one girl's voice lines piss me off. It's not Crypto. It's the one that flies.
No, I know, but I've never seen you play Crypto, and you're like,
yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I wish this was more like Soldier 76.
Yeah. No, the only ones the voice lines that annoy me a little bit are the one that flies. But she's also got some good lines too. Like she'll say something like she'll say something that makes any sense. Sorry, I haven't slept in a while. I need some. I'm pretty hungry. I need me some ramen. I think that's funny. You know, and she's a lesbian woman of color. I mean,
it's crazy to me though that how they have this image of like they think you'll literally like, let's say maybe you're alt tabbed when you're playing Apex, right?
Yeah.
And you land and you're like, fuck, I didn't pick my character. I'm fucking Crypto. I'm not playing this fucking Chinese piece of shit. And you leave the game and you're like, I gotta get back on Caustic. That's what I relate to.
Yeah, I know it's related to because he's white. Nobody thinks like that. You know who does think like that? I'm going on a fucking. I'm really gonna make a hot take. You know who does think like that? Racists. Rational racists, you know.
We have to start
thinking. You know what game does that pretty good? Valorant. I don't know if you play.
I don't play Valorant. I don't play Valorant, but they have stories.
Yeah. Well, they have a character from like every part of the world, and their whole like powers and all that stuff, their style, what they dress in, and all that, their skin.
Sure.
It all kind of makes sense to their area. Brazilians, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, they do it pretty well.
It's well done, and
they do it.
And you don't get the impression that it's like, "Hey guys, we need representation." It's almost like, where haven't we gotten somebody to add into this world? Let's just snatch somebody from over here. What makes sense from here? This culture, this society, whatever. You know?
Yeah. Why don't you make the Brazilian guy a fucking nerdy white guy? You know. I suppose you could. There's white people. Well, there's white people in Brazil. Some of them even have red hair. No, they're gonna be slightly fucking brown and cool and bang lots of broads. You know. Actually, didn't Def Noodles do a goof? Like he goes, "Hey, where are you from?" "I'm from Brazil." He's like, "No, you're white." It was actually a pretty funny. It was actually a pretty funny bit, you know, because he's Caucasian. Yeah.
Thinking we're not losing, they're losing. And we're losing because we're going to...
I tried to get back in touch with him, and I can't.
Let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation.
Let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation. You're talking about the customers. They're standing in the way of our propaganda.
And I think that we need to stop thinking that our, core marketing demographics have to define the exact demographics of our playable characters and of our cast. And instead, we start to have to assume that...
I don't think they do.
They already don't.
They already don't. That's the thing. I don't think they do. You know, I seem to remember in the 90s, and nobody bitching about this, Lara Croft, the vampire chick, the kid, there was a shit ton of female action heroes, and there was no feminist movement that brought it about. There was nothing that brought it about. You know, the only thing that you could probably say brought it about is jiggly boobies. And stuff like that, but there was tons of female characters like before Gamergate, the first one.
I don't remember when Blade came out. That everyone was like, "Wow, the first black superhero." It was just that movie was dope.
Yeah,
it was like, dude, Wesley Snipes.
Did you hear that fucking soundtrack? I meing, everybody.
Like nobody was like, "Oh my god, why do we have a black guy on screen?"
Nobody said that.
Fuck?
So she's basically making an argument that doesn't even like she's making an argument against people that don't even hold the fucking values she says they hold. Core,
no,
stream cut off, and your audio is it gone? I saw
Also,
something.
Vault said
Vault said
This JFA. Yeah, Vault said it ended for a second and it came
Yeah,
back.
I saw something happen here. I saw something happen here. It just went boom and then back to
should be
0.
good.
It was weird. 2 minutes, 35 seconds ago.
I don't know if you've said this before or anybody else has covered this, but what I've found in every job that I've ever had, from construction to warehousing, office jobs, big corporations, small ones, doesn't matter. You have the same types of people everywhere. If they can't get over it through hard work, and even the words that she's using, she's stealing from hard workers and
That's
real
what I
innovators.
think. I think she is.
So what they do is they bullshit their way as far up as they can. And all they're doing is bringing people down, right? They need to shove aside talented, hardworking grinders in order to push themselves forward, right?
Yeah.
So I've experienced this. You just have to work harder, because what at the end of the day talks to the board members and the people at the top? Money. And who's the only one bringing it in? It's not bullshitters and untalented fuckers.
All you got to do is work harder with
workers.
them until they're fired after the second year.
And that's happened to
take their
me
fucking
with
spot.
every job. I'll get passed up, and eventually they're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Then I'll be in the rooms with the leadership after I get promoted, and I'm looking around the room like, all these dudes are probably going to be fired soon, because they're realizing that these guys are costing them money. So fucking
because you have an army of management and no talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what in this day and age, what is easy? It's all the lazy bullshitters, right? What's easy? Well,
telling
we don't
people
have a
what to
problem
do.
here. Let's manufacture something, right? And what's something nobody wants to be called? Racists, pedophiles, rapists. They have to use all this shit in order to fuck everyone that's grinding and working hard, doing all that shit. That is actually creating stuff or making whatever. They got to do something to them, because they can't compete.
No, they can't compete.
That's the issue. In my opinion, that's the core issue. Because when my skin tone, when I look at somebody that's matching it and they're talking like this, everybody I know that's like me looks at them and they're like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, get the fuck
you don't represent me."
No, they don't represent you. They don't represent blacks. They don't represent minorities. They represent an ideology. That's what they represent. A sick,
and it's a bullshit
twisted,
ideology.
Racist ideology. That's what they represent. That's what this woman represents. A sick, twisted, bigoted, hateful. Everything has like your skin color just defines you completely. There's no variation. There's no nuance to anybody. I mean, we call those people. So we have a word for them: bigots. They're bigots.
I mean, it's really just the inverse, right? You had white people before having like reacting to quote unquote caricatures of black people. Now it's the inverse, where you have the caricature of a white person, or like a white male that's like a racist,
or a white male that's either racist or incompetent. That's the only two white males you see anymore: racist or incompetent.
Yeah.
Stories, and that if we bring joy to our broad
and here's the thing, my black and Latino friends, you're getting portrayed more and more males as incompetent, more and more.
Well, you might have to leave us out of the conversation, because we don't really complain. And even within ourselves, the Latinx community got annihilated. They tried that shit, and everybody was like, no.
Why would that ever work? Because Latin encompasses like Brazil, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Mexico, people from California, people from Florida. It covers
when you try to blend them together and nullify their history, they get angry. That's
shocking.
we all recognize that we're of the same kind. We're all south of the border. We're all Latins and all that great stuff. But we all have our own cultures, our own traditions, and it's like hundreds and thousands of years old.
You all look
Why
the
are
same,
you coming
though.
at us with this stupid shit, bro?
They all look the same.
Yeah, they all got their own shit. Like I don't think you're scared of the number 24, are you?
I don't know what that means, but no.
It's considered a gay number in Brazil, and you can't use it as a jersey. They do 23 plus 1 on birthday cards and other stuff.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
really?
yeah.
It's a gay number. 24 is a gay number. I didn't know that.
It's Steph Noodles'
I guess so.
Oh,
audience. It's going to encompass our core audience as well. And similarly, I think we need to get out of. I'm glad you're here. But I think that we need to start getting out of just advocacy tracking.
Donald Trump choosing Boogie as my vice president.
In these discussions, because ultimately we're seeing like representation as this abstract idea. We're seeing it as this weird kind of thing that we can paint over what we're currently doing. But
see, what they're doing isn't really representation. It's shoehorning their politics in.
If we start having these conversations,
and that is abstract.
as facets of narrative, as facets of marketing, as gameplay, as art, I think that we're actually going to be able to move beyond it, because when we sequester advocacy into this one series, what we risk is like preaching to the choir, and while you guys already know this because you're here, what's old to us can be innovative to somebody else, and that's still incredibly important.
We're all so
like all
above
these
it
things
and
I'm saying
smarter
today,
than
I'm
everyone
sure
else.
you
We need to spread our
understand,
message.
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
know. I know you guys all know already.
Am I going on a limb
They
to
don't
say?
know.
Am I going on a limb to say she's a fucking commie? I'm really.
but
This is a really fancy way to say I'm trying to get communist politics mainstream.
you can go out into
You
the
know,
world
that's one thing I'll give to Keffel. She never backed off from being a commie. You know?
now, and other people will hear it from you. Because ultimately, I think that is what we need to figure out. It's how to bring these discussions out and make innovations in content like the way we make them everywhere
How do
else
we
in
do
our
that?
industry. But how do we do that?
Listen to
I think
this. It's not about, I'll give you a hint. It's not about convincing people that your ideas are going to work.
One thing in narrative,
Just to
because
give everybody,
honestly,
wait, before you play this, just to give everyone a preview of how well this went, take a look at the classic YouTube signs. Dislikes are disabled, and if you scroll down, you can't take a comment. So it really went over well. The message was well received by the rest of the world.
Sure.
in narrative, it's a little bit easier
Outside
to
of San
implement because we
Francisco.
have the power to go like, oh, we can build choices that consider, marginalized identities and just write them into our work. We can decide to tell stories that present like, very rare narratives and representative experiences.
Wait a minute. Are those the characters from the guy that killed himself? That Zoe Quinn fucking dated? Is that his game?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Remember Zoe Quinn? She got like in 2019, and then she came out and said this guy like raped her and stuff, and he fucking blew his brains out or something.
Yeah.
That's his game, I think. Those are his
I'm about
characters.
Aaron Gunn. The fuck is his name?
What was his name? What was his game? Which I think was an independent game. It was really successful. What was that guy's name?
Halawaka.
Halawaka, yeah, Halawaka or something like that.
Damn, we should have had Vega say that one.
Halawaka?
Say what?
Something like that.
Fucking
Do we know?
Matt,
Does chat know?
elegantly put that one.
Alec Halawaka.
Night in the Woods and Aquarium.
Night in the Woods. Hold on a second. Is that the Night in the Woods, guys? Hold on. The Woods video game. Yeah, I think so.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that I fucking ironic?
Holy shit.
God damn, see, Tommy is invested in Gamergate. How the fuck did he
I just
spotted
remember
that from a still
Well, you know
image?
what I found out today just by watching a fucking video? I'm pretty sure I live down the street from a left-wing terrorist.
What?
I'm not.
Come on, dude. Let's not go.
No.
You
Here's the
expand
thing.
on that?
In 1988, there's a group called the Rote Army Faction, right? This guy was in a bar called the Longhorn Saloon, which is long gone, and a German girl came up to him and said, "Hey, listen, would you walk me home? I'm a little freaked out." He complied, where he was then thrown in a van. His military ID was stolen, and they put a bullet in his head. They took the card. They took the card. The woman that walked him out was named Bridget Hogler. I'm not gave her real. You probably gotta look her up, but was named Bridget Hogler. All right. They took that. They went to Ray Barracks in Frankfurt. Fucking blew up a car
What does this have to do with
and killed.
Gamergate?
No. I'm gonna get there if you shut the fuck up. I'm gonna get and they killed a U.S. Army officer. Right. There is a documentary that came out. Right. That woman was recently released from prison, and the guy she's killed sister wanted to meet her, right? And they show her driving, and it looks like exactly like a place in Wiesbaden that I've been. And then I find out she was initially from the area of Wiesbaden that I'm in, right? And I think I recognize her from some walks I've taken in the neighborhood. I'm not even joking you. And here's the thing.
Are you sharing your plan to act right now?
No, I'm not going
Is
to
that
do it.
what's
I'm not
happening?
going to. No, I'm not going to. She's fucking 70 some odd years old. For
Just
Christ's sakes.
kidding.
So, my point is, I did this about 3 hours ago just by watching this, and I recognized the gas station. Then I went to Google Maps. I showed English Nick what I was doing. It looked exactly like the fucking area that she is. So, and it would have been driving away from my area. And then we looked up. Of course, she was born in Wiesbaden, and she's now in her 70s. She was released about 5-6 years ago. So I think she lives down the street, like right down the street, like spitting distance. Isn't that funny? So my point is, I have been picking because I have been looking at stuff, and like you were saying, how did you do that? I've been doing this stuff all day. You know what I think it is? I finally got my CPAP machine.
Autism.
No, my CPAP machines. I've been alert all day. My CPAP machine's been working for like the last week without me.
Oh, you're actually getting REM sleep now.
Yes. So I'm like,
I'm
getting really fucking sharp is my whole point. You know, I thought that was interesting. Fuck you if you didn't. Let's watch the dopey broad.
And we can kind of work on
I like how this all circled back to Tommy finally got a CPAP machine.
Well, I know I've had one, but I can barely. I rip it off. I rip it off my face at night. I figure
it could have been very simple. Just to, I have a CPAP machine. I've been able to.
Yeah, I could have done that. But would it be really cool if the terrorist was down the street? Why don't I go stick a camera in her face? How about that?
Minority characters. And so in that way, we do have like a lot of power to actually affect the change that we want to see and to work all of these concepts.
How do we do it? How do we do it?
In our material as narrative developers.
How do we do it? Screenshot of another company's
still work for people. And it's another kettle of fish, I think, when it comes to like the structures that approve these choices. And we have to kind of look at them a little more institutionally, because we can write all the stories that we want, but that doesn't mean that anyone's going to buy them, anyone's going to market them, anyone's going to let us do it.
She is.
So I think I want to use my last section here to kind of outline the tools and the techniques that I use and that my company has used to make representation very much a staple of our offering outside of just the work that we do internally. So first and foremost, if you're in creative development, if you're building a world and a story and you're including characters and concepts that are borrowed or inspired by or based on the lives and the lived experiences of marginalized people, firstly, I would say do not be afraid to create moments that are intentionally targeted and designed to create joy in the marginalized. They are going to appreciate this on a level that your core audience won't, but it doesn't mean that you're going to exclude your core audience in doing that. Do not make it so that marginalized people, when they're playing your game, have to do all of the work to create representation themselves by creating that custom character. And also,
she's basically saying, put it in, what she's saying is, put it in lightly. Put it in lightly. That's what she's saying. Do dabs. Don't do it all at once. Do dabs. That's what she's saying.
Don't fall into this trap that I think a lot of people fall into, which is they think, okay, don't worry. We can include everyone by making this like single default universal experience that is universally representative. Because usually like all that means, as it did in the dating example, is that you're aiming at your core demographic and you're probably invisibly leaning towards the dominant societal voice, even if you don't realize it. And if you're in development and you are part of like that dominant voice,
that's the thing that guy said not too long ago, right? Where he said, or I think it was probably around the same time she's saying this, where it was recorded, where that guy was like, "Oh, we need to force people into their behaviors."
Yes,
right. Like what she's saying. What she's saying is very universal in storytelling, right? Create a universal experience where the majority of people can relate to your story and understand the concepts that are occurring.
Vega, you can't do that because instinctually you'll lean towards a white man, so you probably shouldn't do that.
But that's the bullshit part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bullshit part.
Exactly.
So that way she's tapping into your brain to tell you, in case you're in the audience, to be like, she's making a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
This is usually how they target us and then retarded white people.
Yeah.
You know?
Cis, hetero, white dude, or just adjacent to that, do not wait until the end to call your consultants. Bring them in at the beginning, and instead of asking them, hey, is this very racist thing we did very racist? Or is this deeply offensive thing we did deeply offensive? Are you hurt by it? Ask them what they want to see. Like, ask them what would thrill them, what would bring them joy. And if you have a team lead, put that request to them very, very early. If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them.
Bingo. What do you think they're terrifying them with? Are they terrifying them with lack of sales that they'll inevitably have? No. They're terrifying them with race baiting and race hustling.
with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you
want to blow it down that much.
Because they have to consider, like, I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal
you have to deal with the people that want to make money
with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like
I relate to Tommy because I live right next to a right-wing terrorist. Watched a documentary called Project America 2 days ago. I'm walking my dog and this white guy was going on and see what? I'll have to read that later. I'll read them at the end.
A genuine value that you can impress upon them with both ethically and financially. You can say this is important. And it's also a valid discussion to have because
this is really important. Like, kind of important. Is your job important? So it's that important.
If you're working with a very thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. If you're not in AAA and if you're indie or if you're freelance,
you essentially say threaten them.
This is a fucking stick up. Give me some of your cash, or else you're fucking fired.
Stick up. Give me cash. It is. It'd
be a really big shame if something were to come out on you and you lost your job. That'd be really unfortunate.
How
we don't have to do that. Let me help you with this opportunity to make us both look good.
How crazy is it that the question wasn't like a response? Somebody in the audience should have rose their hand and be like, "Well, I think maybe the question is it important to the story and what we're trying to do here?"
You'd be gone before
because
the end
it sounds
of the
like
conference.
it's important to me and my people. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, what, dude? Well, what does that have to do with the story, though?
And keep in mind, I don't think your people are fucking black girls. I think your people are fucking commies. That's what he's talking about.
Ending cyberbullying featuring Boogie 2.
This guy has a lot of cyberbullying, but you want to watch this.
And Nita Sarkeesian.
This is the infamous conference.
Oh, I was there. I was there for that.
That's right. I know you are. Yeah, you were with all the fucking right-wing Nazis.
No, I was there with Boogie. I was there with Boogie.
Oh, you were there with Boogie?
Well, not Boogie. Billy Fridge.
Billy Fridge.
Yeah, right-wing Nazi.
He's damn. I can't believe you mixed those fuckers up. That's rough.
Is that not the funniest picture you've ever seen in your life?
My hand didn't really.
You know, I really don't see the odd one out, Tommy.
The odd one out.
This is like the.
I don't see the odd one out.
You know the blacked meme where it's the white girl with a bunch of black dudes on it? Except this time it's a fat white dude and a bunch of like social justice.
Yeah.
I think they should have taken the person on the second to far right and placed them next to each other so we could blend in a little more.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Or they could sit in the center and then there could be two girls to both their left and right.
Cascade downward.
Yeah, but this is really fucking with my OCD here. Although it does kind of work because there's one skinny, fat, skinny, fat, skinny. That works. Okay.
Do you think the person organizing it was like, I'm going to put Boogie right next to Anita Sarkeesian? This should be interesting.
No, I don't think they put that much thought into it. I figured just
okay. Well,
I you know what I think? I think Boogie fucking probably forced himself. I'm
starting to think you are autistic, Tommy.
Why? Oh, you're taking a joke. Yeah, maybe I am.
Yeah,
maybe I am. Maybe now that I've gotten some sleep, I'm.
Yeah, now that he's gotten some sleep, he's not as delirious.
He's like starts watching train videos.
Oh my God! It's a 1942 honker. Oh! I love that.
You've seen that white kid that chases trains, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love those videos. Showed him my son.
Yeah.
He said that guy's a dork.
He's like a fucking. Dude, he has like a fucking orgasm while they go
I know,
by.
it's crazy. Oh, he was at the horn! I love that video. It's really funny. So, yeah, that's a night in the woods. That guy, she used that guy's stuff and he off themselves. All right. So I came out, I said basically what I told you guys in the beginning, that privately he had made comments to me. Josh wrote me back. Bobak says the Boogie has grifted before, but it's clear this is not one of those times. I think he's being pretty hyperbolic with how he's expressing his opinion, but the contents of opinion are consistent and honestly pretty simple. All right, he just doesn't want a diversity in games quota. And Nick responds back, Boogie hasn't been genuine about an aspect of his life in a decade. Then he drops an absurd hyperbolic tweet currently trending, and surprise, it went viral. Okay, I think people. Let's see. I think people are putting a C to rationalize arguments. He's fighting with Tipster. People are upset with tangibly social political issues in gaming today.
Well, that extra sleep didn't fix your dyslexia. That's
no, it didn't. People are upset with tangible social political issues in gaming today. Well, they always have been, and that's why there's been a place to grift off them. I'm glad you were at least saying it was hyperbolic, because there was a total brain dead culture warriors defending the guy's argument who say the video gamers today are lectures about being a white person, knowing full well that he didn't have a single example in mind. Well, here's the thing. While there's no way to point to a symbol of example in a video game where somebody's literally being lectured for being white, we know the people that are doing this, that's their plan, but to do it slowly and interject it. So while Boogie might not be talking about a specific example, I think it's a completely fair scenario to say that all the games they worked on, they've kind of touched and they've mishmashed and they've put these things in together, and that is their goal, to lecture people. I'm sorry, it is subliminal. It's deliberately subliminal. Just ask the source. But to say that it's like, I don't think because there's not a literal example of Spider-Man being lectured because he's white doesn't mean it's not happening. Now, saying Boogie is insincere, look, he's earned that. He's earned that. But as far as being hyperbolic, isn't that what all YouTubers kind of do? I don't know. And I think a lot of people think he's being sincere. Now, I'm sure that sincerity falls along political lines to a certain extent. And I've asked myself, is my own bias getting in the way? I don't think so, because A, the personal conversations I've had with him, B, he still seems to be a lefty in every other aspect. I think the reason it went viral is because he's connected with a portion of the population that is sick to fucking death with this shit. And I think it's okay to be sick to this. And it doesn't need to have an actual sort of lecture, a direct, clear-cut example of a lecture lecturing white people. We have the CEO saying that's the goal. And if we don't get our way, we're going to basically threaten the people that hold the money. So I really don't think it's that off. But Nick is right. I don't think there's a Pacific. Is there a Pacific example? The only Pacific example that I've seen in modern media when it comes to this type of stuff was in that Batman movie when Catwoman starts talking about white privilege. It's a completely weird rant out of nowhere. Is anybody else familiar with a direct lecture in a video game other than that, which is in a video game?
I'm sure they are there.
I don't think they are. I think Nick's right in this aspect. I don't think there's like a clear cut. I don't think there's a very clear cut scene, so to speak, to kind of push wokeness on you. It's sort of put there in dabs, which is exactly what she's instructing these creators to do. But the end goal is to lecture, and it's pretty clear. So I don't think while Boogie's my point is while Boogie's tweet is hyperbolic. Using hyperbole to get a point across isn't necessarily an insincere way to get a point across. That's all I'm saying. I mean, that kind of stuck in my head. And here's another thing, and this is something I wonder too. I think the argument whether Boogie's being sincere or not, which is the one I'm defending him on, it's one of those things that you could never know unless you have a series of events prior to that show them flip-flopping or fence-sitting. And in both Boogie and Tipster's case, you can point to that, and they can be discredited on those as a speaker for those reasons. But here's the thing: I always fall back to this in the hypocrite argument. If a murderer tells you it's not right to murder, while that does make him a hypocrite, he's still not wrong. And I don't think Boogie's wrong. I don't. I call me crazy. I don't think he's wrong. I think these, when it even goes back to old Hollywood, they sneak in messages. I think this current generation is just, with the advent of social media, just isn't that good at it. That's what I think. I think Boogie's, being lectured for being white. Yeah, it's in there. It's in there. It is subliminal, but it's there. I mean, we've put, what is that movie? It's basically about fascism. The one where you kill the bugs. what's his name?
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. The whole movie's about fascism, and the humans are the bad guys. They're a bunch of fascists at the end. It's really has a really great ending. Like when they put their hand in the alien, the guy that can read the minds of the aliens, and he says, "He's afraid!" Yay! It's a really wild scene. A lot of people don't really get that movie. That's
was basically
a message.
what Helldivers 2 is, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
That movie in a video game.
Yeah, and that was a message. That was an anti-fascistic message, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't like fascism, right? That to say that that's not happening now, but from the extreme left is, I'm sorry, a misnomer. It's clearly happening. It's clearly happening, and these people do anything to defend it, including threatening marketing. And I think that's really clear cut. So I think Nick's right on one. Like, if you want to dismiss Boogie, absolutely, be my guest, right? If you don't find him sincere. But I don't think you can take his hyperbolic statement and say it's untrue. That's my argument. That's my argument with Nick.
As far as I've seen and heard, because I'll have some of these guys in the background when I'm working on shit, like Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, I think EFAP, some of these guys to a certain extent, they show some of these clips.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they interpret it, this is my fear with the pendulum swinging in the opposite direction.
And we've seen it swing both ways.
Yeah, but now it's swinging back in the other direction, right?
Yeah,
Common
it's going
sense
the
is
other way.
going to take over. But my thing is, I'm starting to hear people misinterpret scenes into being woke shit.
Being woke, I would agree with you on that. Absolutely.
So what Boogie's saying is that some of these guys that I even mentioned, and no disrespect to them, I actually like those guys, and what they sometimes will bring up shit, and I'm like, that's not what I take from it, but okay, because they're like, this is woke, or yeah, fuck the white guy, and it's like, not really, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
It is. There's proof out there. Yeah.
Take my recent video with Ant-Man, and you look at the comments. And I also want to keep in mind everybody that had a problem with Ant-Man, didn't ever, or I'm sorry, Act-Man.
Oh, Act-Man. Sorry.
Yeah, Act-Man.
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I call him Ant-Man because
there's an Ant-Man?
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
Ant-Man. Yeah, different Ant-Man. If you go and just check the leaks proved, leaks didn't prove up why, so why leak them? For all those who want to know if he's apologized, I don't have time to go through all these because I didn't think of this until now, so I can't cherry pick them or anything. But you can go. I have enough trust that you go through this. They don't ever address anything Act-Man ever says. They just call him a woke loser. So this is the other side of the pendulum. Was my mistake. They're saying it's Act-Man and stuff like that. They never really address. And then I took calls during that, and none of those guys called in. So yeah, I do think there's disingenuous people on the Jeremy side. I do think there's bad faith guys on the Jeremy side. I don't think the Act-Man said anything. And you know what? He said some pretty insincere things in the past about yours truly, right? But I don't think all right, he's a hypocrite. Is he wrong? That's the real issue. Same thing. Is Boogie a hypocrite? But is he wrong? Is the murderer that tells you not to kill people a hypocrite? But is he wrong? If a hypocrite tells you the sun comes up every fucking day, it doesn't come up. I mean, you can't completely, discrediting an individual does not ever discredit the argument. Ever. Not once in history. And that's what you see so many times with the bread tube crap. It's more about discrediting the speaker rather than the argument itself. And
you want a really good example? You want a really good example of that relates to this whole situation?
Sure.
Ever see the Sweet Baby employee that was defending this shit on Twitter?
No, I didn't see that.
That was one of the things that sparked this stuff.
Okay.
Because someone made a Steam group.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made a Steam group about a list of games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on, and they took it from their archive and their website to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this person is talking about how they were going out and trying to get this group taken down because it was bullying, trying to get this guy's Steam account banned. Jesus. By the way, this person, if you look at the community note, this fucker works for Sweet Baby Inc. So you think you might have something a little bit invested to defend this?
Yeah.
But
boy, this really opened exactly like Gamer. So this thing started exactly like the original Gamergate. They had somebody from the inside snitch. Because that's what happened with Game. That's what happened with Zoe Quinn. But that's what happened to Zoe Quinn. Zoe Quinn's boyfriend came out and said she didn't earn that fucking award for her game. She slept with all these guys. So
that wasn't. Yeah, that's not what happened here.
That's not what happened here. But it's
Tommy,
essentially
this guy is defending it.
Oh, he's defending it.
He's defending Sweet Baby Inc., saying this group is bullshit.
So he dry
this guy, a different guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dry
And so by him bringing this up, then brought it to 800,000 other people. And then it became a thing.
It became a thing. For example, teams that have guidelines, as far as I can tell, that would prevent someone from starting a curation group that focuses on, say, Sweet Baby Inc. and warns people not to buy games associated with it, which could just list any game at all. Well, I suppose that's the truth, but that's still protected speech. We don't like this game they run. This is a woke company. Don't buy.
Well, no, all it is a Steam list. It's just a list of games that
just
they
a Steam
don't like.
list.
That's made by.
Oh, and they want to take.
By the way, they come through and they only use games that are actually listed on their site as a source.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, this person works.
So they're trying to put that. They're trying to put the mask back on. Is what they're
trying to make it a harassment campaign,
yeah.
basically.
They're trying to, so they start their own harassment. Well, that's one of the things you knew about Gamergate is the victims of harassment were more than willing to engage in it, and we've seen that time and time again. So that's so funny. They wanted the people that get together in groups and said, "Don't buy these games." So like you can't have a boycott.
How much you want to bet the people? Exactly how much you want to bet Sweet Baby Inc. and the people that love them and defend them have their own little list going?
Oh yeah,
and they're mad that they're on somebody's list.
Yeah. That's essentially what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think this guy he spurged for several tweets. I think he even continues after this. I can't remember everything he says, but he got lit on fire.
Well, wow, that's funny.
He's just fucking spurging about it.
Interesting you didn't take it down, huh? Yeah, really got to change my phone.
It's just so funny. Like right click his name and go to his profile. Look at the first thing in his fucking bio, or one of the first things in his bio.
I'm not calling
now consulting Sweet Baby Inc.
That's something I will never. I've never call anybody a they. That's not English. Oh man. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, this
is what broke it up. That's too funny.
It's the first thing I saw about it for sure. That everyone was responding to.
Wow, oh, Nathan Grayson's involved. Who really is Gamergate too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this who made this planet so pretty? Not untalented pricks like you, I guarantee it. Oh, that's fucking funny. All right, I'm gonna take a call or two. Oh, that's super fucking rich. Nobody in the queue? No, nobody in the queue.
I can put the link in the chat now.
Okay, Mothman, don't irritate me. Go ahead.
Hey, your favorite German racist here?
Oh yeah. Go ahead, German racist.
What I wanted to say is, she was talking about males want to play what they can identify with, right?
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
So I played Alien Isolation.
Wolfenstein.
I played. Fuck you.
You let him up with that one.
It's harassment. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
I played Alien Isolation. I played Prey. So am I a woman now or am I Asian?
I don't know.
That's what fucks me up. They say all this bullshit, but I just want a game with a good story. I don't care what ethnicity.
Well, here's the thing. What they could do is they could put this. See, they don't want a diverse character. They want their politics in there, and unless their politics get in there, then you don't have a diverse cast. There's nothing wrong with saying, all right, this is Brooklyn, 1982, and there's not one black guy, and somebody says, you know what, this is not Friends. There are black people in Manhattan and Brooklyn. Why don't we put some make it look more real? To make it look real. I think that's the issue. They don't want diversity. They want their message. They want to scream Jesus, Jesus, Jesus at you. Just the antithesis of it.
It's retarded. And she also said something about a character creator is not good, but a character creator is seriously the best inclusive thing that you can have. You can make your own. You can be what you want.
And how many people don't actually make themselves? They make some like fat ass big titty version.
I make myself.
You know what
I make
mean?
myself, but in shape.
Exactly. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is
yeah.
that it's not reflecting
Yeah.
the reality. You're just making whatever the fuck you think is funny or what you want to be.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's either funny or what I like to be. You know, like a big.
Yeah, I gotta
badass
say,
with muscles.
99% of heavy characters in the finals are fat black people wearing obnoxious outfits.
Dude, fucking Verse was a chick in Power World. I was like, damn, who's this? And I was like, oh, Verse. Oh,
Yeah, Verse is weird.
Yeah, he tried flirting with me when I first got on the server.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, who's this? Oh, okay, never mind.
Hey, Mothman, what? Who did you watch this weekend? What's your team again? I forgot. I think you told me once before.
I didn't watch. I was busy with work.
You're busy with work. You Germans. Who's your team?
Thank God you saved us from a soccer conversation.
Soccer team? I don't watch soccer.
What's wrong with you? Because you play too many video games.
Thank God.
I never liked soccer.
What do you like? You don't like
gaming.
sports. You don't like.
I
sports.
don't like sport.
Hey,
I don't like sport. I'm 29.
Thank you, thank you. Type in the
Sport.
YouTube chat so I can gift you a membership. Oh, wait.
All right, Mothman. I'll talk to
Tonight
you
I'm
later.
already a member.
Nick the Oreo's here. How are you doing?
Chat. Are you following the big tipster news?
No.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Literally looking.
What
at
happened?
It
Are
right
you
now.
seeing this?
No. What happened?
Here, I'll send you the
Dude,
the
an
tweet.
epic YouTuber just put out a massive report, and it is crazy.
Really?
Matt, you got it?
Yeah, I'm sending it to Tommy.
Bro,
right
you
now.
gotta say, dude, this is so amazing. This is the funniest thing that's ever happened.
Breaking news: Tipster gets annihilated by YouTube representative called a what? What?
Are you familiar with what's happening?
No.
Yeah, I was telling. He's been shadow banned.
His channel looks like it's shadow banned
It does.
because all of this, like, the only way you could find Tipster is if you go on YouTube search result and look up Tipster Lolly. Then he's the top 2.
Yeah, we already did
result.
that. It's fucking funny.
Okay, but otherwise, all of the other stuff is like videos about him. So Tipster tried to YouTube and was like, YouTube, can you please fix this? And this is YouTube's response.
Go to the next picture, Tommy. He actually has the snippets in there.
Hi, my name is Hazel. What are you doing to you? Thanks. Okay, thanks. It's good to know. I'm contacting you because my audience has informed me as of yesterday my channel no longer appears in the search results. I've checked with an alt account and confirmed the issue. What would cause this and how can we fix this? They even tried a filtered search to search just for channels and it still doesn't show up. Who did he piss off? Thanks for sharing your concern. I understand you're concerned about your channel search results. Yes, my channel randomly stopped showing up in search results. My audience has been informing me since yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that.
Randomly, huh?
Yeah, this is. Yeah,
Surely
I've
there
had
hasn't
these
been any
conversations.
events-
I've had these conversations.
Surely there hasn't been any events in the recent 3 years that could possibly push you down
The
in
second
relevancy
page,
or
yeah.
search results. This is just out of the blue. Who could have seen this? Who could have seen this coming?
He starts getting somewhere on the second. Yeah, that's where he starts. getting
Okay,
somewhere.
please. No, the Drogo search engine, YouTube strives to surface the most relevant results according to keyword
Keyword query.
I actually think it's this kind of fair. You can't find his channel. I do think it's bullshit. Channel's videos are ranked based on a variety of factors, including how well the title, description of the video, blah, blah, blah. Beyond that, we took a look at which videos have driven the most engagements. The search results are not on a list of the most viewed videos on your channel. Also, YouTube search tries to show the most relevant results. You should have put that in caps. Results can include videos, channels, playlists, and streams. You may not find your channel at the top of the search results. If your handle or channel is commonly used in video titles, you have a common title channel name. Your YouTube channel is new. The channel name may not be appropriate to all audiences. And
Oh my God, they're giving him tips to be a YouTuber now. Oh no!
Additionally, here's some tips. See what words people use to find your channel, which is probably lolly. The traffic sources in your YouTube manager. Consider incorporating. Why would he post this? Incorporating the most relevant search terms.
Tipster W, by the way, winning.
By the way, I was always told, like, if you do stuff like
Next
do not
page?
screenshot.
Go to the next page?
No, but this doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. Why
Dude,
would
look
a
at page
channel
3.
search-
Look at page 3.
Oh my God! Why would he post this? He should never have left it.
Brainstorm new ideas.
Brainstorm new ideas. And search result for popular, less competitive queries. Yeah, he's competitive. Competitive with people that hate him. Opportunities that serve the audience that isn't already well served. Remember to check. Maybe
last sentence of that second line. However, as per careful, this is working as intended.
Oh no. Anything else? No, that was all. Thanks. My God, he's so stupid.
Wait. What did she say at the very end?
I don't have it. I got it from his account.
Oh, sure. Feedback form. Oh God.
You want to act chat? You want to fucking say you're better than Boogie? Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Oh my God,
dude, he got destroyed by a minimum wage fucking support analyst for a third world country.
Who probably didn't speak English. She had to translate.
You just lost a debate to Ubuntu.
My God, why would you post that?
But when you search up Tipster Lolly, he's still the #1 result. It's working as intended. Well, I was telling everybody today, you know what's happening, right? Tipster is becoming a subgenre. Because all these content creators are making videos about him and stuff. This happens to Onision. This happened to Mama Max.
Everything with his name in it is far more popular than anything he's created.
Yeah, but
but Tipster's now like a piece of furniture or an iPhone. Like when you look up the iPhone, the Apple YouTube channel doesn't pop up immediately. Oh, that's so right? Funny. Like they think he's like an item.
Oh my God.
Like he's not human.
Boogie made a response to it.
Did he? No. Hold on
go to his channel go to his Twitter apparently.
Boogie, hold on a second.
Oh no.
Boogie W. You gotta give Boogie the W in this one.
So hard they shadow banned him.
I have Boogie.
Your channel is just shit and irrelevant.
Did I body Tipster so bad they shadow banned him? Oh my God, bro.
Oh my God!
That's wild.
That's hysterical.
Boo! Oh my God, dude.
I've never seen such an L posted. But why did he post this?
That's a Hall of Fame tweet right there, bro.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, God.
Did I body tip? Dude, what a tweet! What a tweet, Boogie.
He got sent to the Shadow Realm. Oh,
no, he already got sent there. He just locked the door on him with that.
He's been there.
Vega, could you imagine reaching out being like, hey, fuck, my SEO doesn't seem to work. And you're like, no, you're just irrelevant. That's not you.
And then I post a tweet. That sounds like something I'll do.
God damn.
All right, you're just irrelevant. Any other questions?
Let me take you.
Shit.
Mormon guy, you have anything to add to this?
I just wanted to say on the Sweet Baby Inc. thing.
Sure.
Publicly, if you go to their LinkedIn profile where they list their company and everyone who works there, makes them public is the exact opposite of you and me.
What's the opposite of me? What are you talking about?
You will not find a straight white male anywhere.
Well, it's not the opposite. They're different, you stupid ass, you racist prick.
I hate to blow up this spot, but first 2 employees are white men. And then a white woman, and then a black woman.
Yeah, but they were injected with pigment.
Listen, he has green translucent frames, so he's probably gay, but like it's still
close enough.
All right.
Speech impediment, you know, like 3 ribs removed.
Tommy, I sent you an article that kind of relates to more reflection. Have you ever heard of the show Shogun?
I've heard it's so good. I need to watch it.
A new show that just came out. It's on, I don't know, Netflix.
Nah, you got to watch Jack Reacher.
Oh yeah, I wholehearily
agree. Where are the black
people?
Oh my God.
Where are the black people in Shogun? In 1600 Japan.
China.
Ooh,
where are all the black people?
You almost walked into that one.
William Spivey. Is that the guy that called the fucking Kansas City Chiefs kid a racist? Oh my God, where are the black people in China?
And it's all about the white savior trope, I guess they're saying. You know, remember the Last Samurai with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Here's what I know: commies fucking go to media because they control everything. That's what I know.
What's sad about the whole thing too is that you can make the opposite argument to where it's like, okay, the critically thinking here, the core audience that they're trying to reach is a lot of them are going to be Americans, right? Because we consume a lot of media.
Sure.
So we need to bring English speaking people into
you
the
could do that.
storyline.
The ones that could make you money or what? Why don't there more white people in there? Yeah.
No, but I think that's more reductive, I guess you would say, because you could say, how do we present this culture and of this time, still tell the story while introducing a character that can guide the audience through this character by speaking English, bringing some of the culture they can recognize into this other world, so we can showcase samurais, honor.
I don't know. I hate that. I hate that. If it's 1412 Japan, I want to see fucking Japanese samurais. I don't want to see fucking.
What about
Tom
the
Cruise.
multiverse? What if there were black
that.
samurais in Earth 3?
That white guy Tommy. That white guy Tommy is actually, I believe, he's actually a real person.
No, he's
based
like,
on a real person.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
it's
But
not.
that was also the 18th.
like-
that was like 19th century though. So
It's a London guy pretending to be Portuguese. It's like it's kind of complicated, but it makes sense.
but not in the
you know, so-
1400s. Jesus. that one that Tom Cruise did. That was a joke, by the way. You say I'm autistic. The one that took place in the 19th century, and it was like the last of the samurai. The one that Tom Cruise did.
Yeah, some of those events I think were based on real stories.
Yeah, I
The
think they
modern
were.
army
My
came
favorite scene
across-
is when the
yeah.
Irishman calls them a bunch of savages, and the guy turns around. You Irish are swinging from trees when these people had civilizations.
Yeah.
And actually, they're right. They're still swinging from trees. Last time I was there.
The Last Samurai is one of my favorite movies. Bro. That movie is beautiful,
It's a good movie. Yeah, but my
great movie.
point is, it's if you're watching a movie like that made sense. It was white people and samurais making the clash is happening.
Let me break it down for you, Tommy. This guy's spying on Japan as a foreigner, getting intel. Does that make it more realistic for you?
Yes.
It's based in fact.
I did. But I don't want to see it. It's not 1412 either. If it's 300 years earlier, it's fucking weird. It doesn't make sense. It goes back to what I was saying before. It's like, I don't think white people look at this and say, oh, wow, there's not a white guy here, that even subconsciously, and say, I don't like this. I think it's like, that doesn't make sense. A black girl wearing a Nazi outfit playing no, that doesn't make sense. That fucks up my immersion. It's not that I don't have a problem with black women. I have a problem with the fucking immersion not making sense. That's the situation. And they want this to make sense. And is it any wonder that I deleted the picture. Maybe I can find it. I deleted the picture. Oh, I deleted all of them. Fuck. The picture I posted a couple weeks ago of the lolcow, right? And it just kind of randomly made us all Asian. It was a funny picture. I think here it is. Right, I put that in there.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah. Why? And then
Dude, I love that guy. This is what you would look like if you were black or Chinese.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Wow, that shit is fire, bro.
Yeah. It's really funny. Don't get me wrong, but I can't even be white if I want to be.
Why does Boogie pull off like an Uncle Iroh kind of?
Yeah, it looks like Judge Ito from fucking OJ trial.
Wings
Who
looks
do you
like a
look
James
like?
Bond henchman.
Yeah.
Tommy looks like one of those streamers from that used to hang out
More
with
Indiana
Pokemon.
Jones, Matt.
Who's the guy who used to hang out with Pokemon that everyone thought fucked her? The Asian guy.
Oh, I don't forget that guy. Yeah, I forget that guy.
Fred Meyer?
Fred Meyer? I don't know.
Not Fedmeister, the guy who
Fedmeister,
who was in the same team as Fedmeister.
No, I was going to say something racist.
All right, Mormon guy. Thank you.
Oh my
very
god,
much
he
for being on.
does.
Wait, he does,
Tommy
right?
looks like. I was talking about Tommy looks like the Asian Jim from The Office.
Oh Jesus! I look like this guy's kid. The Boogie's kid on the left. All right, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Well, hey Tommy, I just wanted to ask, did you see how your boy Matt Walsh stepped on a live hand grenade with the whole game?
I heard some. I stopped watching Jeremy. I saw him in the title. Fucking Jeremy does get enticing titles.
No, he got shit on by Jeremy, Lauren Chen, Lauren Southern,
What did he
Yellow
do?
Flash. he basically implied that he's the first person to like bring attention to wokeness in video.
I bet they got mad. All those grifters are like,
swing a little too far.
Yeah, we've been grifting on this shit for years, motherfucker. Step aside,
Bro,
bitch.
But the right wing guys, the moment they get what they want, they're going to be like, we need to take violence out of video games.
Well,
oh yeah, exactly. By the way, I agree with you completely.
That's the funny part. Is that's also the reason why they're shitting on him, because not like 2 years ago, Matt Walsh has gone on record saying that violence in video games are somehow linked to
they're
actual
not.
violence.
They're not.
And they're not. And
they're not.
I don't know. I gotta be honest. I don't like the guy personally because like he reminds me of the old conservatives in the 90s.
He actually is.
Like,
he's younger than me. He's one of those old conservatives. Yeah, I like. Here's the thing with Matt. I mean, if he's talking about the transgender issue with kids in school, I'm with him. But you don't have to agree with me 100%. If he's being weird about fucking video games, well, if he wants to fucking sacrifice any goodwill that he has to our community, well, go fucking right ahead. You know, it's not going to help your other stuff. But you know, it goes down to the whole fucking hypocrite argument. Is he right or is he a hypocrite? Probably both. In some situations, I mean, I don't think like. You can debate sincerity all fucking day. It doesn't change the argument. So it's like I agree with Matt on some things, and I think that's fucking ridiculous. And you know, Matt would not be able to come up with a study that this affected people in any way. And it goes back. I mean, every time something gets popular, it's the devil's fucking work. It goes. I saw it with Harry Potter. I saw it with Dungeons and Dragons. It goes on rock and roll in the 50s. I mean, the right always says A causes B. Without any sort of evidence.
Well, I also think that's what's going to be the right's downfall, and the reason why they're still not like. I mean, they're winning, like in a sense, but they're also not.
Well, it also shows the Gamergate types were never that far right to begin with, and the fact that they're being called Nazis by the left, they're not conservative. They're not traditional conservatives. Matt Walsh is.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But the problem is that conservatives, this will be their downfall, is that they refuse to make culture in the modern mediums that most culture is used, i.e. movies, video games, comic books. They laugh at it and they think it's like child stuff, which some of it is. They're not partially wrong, but they're also it's a universal medium.
Yeah. Well, my
anyways,
thing with
until they catch a grift on it, aka Eric July and others.
Yeah,
Until it conveniently starts working for them, then they're all about it.
Yeah, no, it is, and it does seem like he'll pay for that. He'll lose credit. Matt Walsh will lose the goodwill that he has to people like me, you know, that agree with a lot of his views on transgender stuff in schools. With kids that are prepubescent, which I'm 100% on his side. And I got to be honest with you, that's not going to rattle me. The fact that he's stupid on video games, Jack Thompson on video games, is not going to rattle me from those positions. He might be a hypocrite on those issues, but I want that shit away from my fucking kids, and Mac Walsh can be my fucking spokesman for it any damn time of the day. You know, I don't want them near my kids. All right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, freaking, you can be wrong about two things and right about one thing.
I think most people are. I think most people are hypocrites too. I think some of them are. There's two types of hypocrites. There's people that like double down on stuff that they know is wrong because they're trying to like save their ego, and there's people that are accidentally hypocrites because they forgot what they fucking said, or they may have changed their mind, or they didn't realize. I remember, wasn't that moment when Jordan Peterson. Some guy poses a question to him, something to do with LGBTQ, and he looks at the guy and he goes, I never thought of it that way. You're right. In other words, conceding, right? And everybody turned that into an own, and I think most people saw it as like, hey, he's wrong and he admitted it. That's not what we get from your side, So it'd be nice if Matt would rethink that, but I don't think he will. He reminds me of my father.
Wow, somebody was enlightened from a different perspective, and they changed their mind. Well, dude, sick own.
Yeah, but I listen to liberals too. I mean, I don't do it just to virtue signal that I listen to a different side. I was listening to that Polish Irishman for a long time until he started saying crazy shit about Israelis. And I agreed with him with a lot of stuff, and he's pretty far left. And I think most people are like me. Now, whereas when I was younger, and I see this with people like Bunk and BreadTube, and everybody's just trying to be on a team. Like nobody's really thinking for themselves.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not like it's not even that as much as it is. Not everybody is you. The only people that you can fit like in like a group 100% are partisans. Most people I don't think are partisans. They're just quiet on certain issues. They don't speak up on certain issues for whatever reason. They don't want to get involved in what have you. I think most people have views on the left and views on the right and views in the middle. I think that's the way it normally works. I think that's your average critical thinking person. They have views that are all over the place. And it doesn't, like, whereas when you're young and you're trying to fit in, you want to be seen as a liberal or a conservative or a libertarian or fucking an atheist or something. Everybody's trying to get in a fucking
You're just trying to pull attention, and those normal views don't get the attention.
When you're like me, where you may have strong views on one issue, but you're not 100% like for the right or the far right, then yeah, you get killed. Where it's a lot easier to go in and say, I'm 100% on critical drinker side on absolutely every issue. That's easy, and it's not thoughtful.
Yeah,
it's easy and it's stupid. And look, you can be a partisan. You can be a partisan and still be right too. By the way, but you're still just a partisan at the end of the day.
Remember when it was like? Remember when it was like, "Hey, Tommy, what do you think about this, that, and the other thing?" And you'll say something I don't agree with, like, "Dude, you're crazy."
Yeah, what happened?
Laugh about it for like 5 or 10 minutes, and be like, "Anyway, look, are we gonna play pool?"
But these people are like, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. We're fucked.
Yeah, it's been done. Rhetoric, you're on the air.
I'd just like to say my favorite part about this is that this all blew up because of a Steam curator page that nobody followed, and they all colluded like last time. It's like they learned nothing.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And they're doing the same things. And what's this about? Verse, do you know anything about the fucking government being involved in this shit? I keep on hearing that Homeland Security's involved, but I haven't really seen the evidence.
Like some like sort of like opt to like get it out in the public or something like that.
How is the government in the business of getting far left political narratives out there? That's frightening.
Well, I think they've been discovering that they've been doing that recently, but I think the only thing that I've heard of, could be wrong, but the only thing that I heard of is that they're funding certain corporations that are pushing certain agendas. Not necessarily that there's a link, but yeah, it should be.
Yeah, a lot of this money came from Vanguard, and they've recently stopped doing the DEI stuff, so hopefully they'll realize that since this doesn't make any money, that they're going to stop doing this shit.
Yeah, but doesn't it amaze you, like Disney's supposedly cutting back too? There's all sorts of reports.
They are. They're reforming all their shit.
But here's the thing. The fact that it got this far is what I find so frightening. It's kind of what Verse said before. You have these people would rather take a loss on their fucking shelve movies, as Gamer J. Lee said, than go against this DEI cult. And that's the frightening thing, because it's actually it's interfering with capitalism.
No, but I think, wasn't it, Tommy, maybe you know better than I do, wasn't it that the government was like subsidizing, you were getting tax breaks, or it was something to where it's like, okay, we have to do this by law, we have to follow, or we have to.
I don't understand it well enough to say.
As far as I know, it wasn't by law. It was the ESG scoring, wasn't it?
It's the ESG scoring. It's not by law. Because I think if the government's doing that, you got a much better constitutional case to take to the Supreme Court. But if they're funding the people that are doing it, that's a kind of a grayer area and stuff like that. But it's this to me, this DEI score is what needs to be attacked. And I hope if Trump gets elected, he goes right after it.
I think the fundamental issue is that they kind of put environmental in the same category as social. Yeah. So, for instance, they put not polluting lakes in the same category as putting black people as all the characters in video games.
Yeah, sure. So it's all
environmental, social, and governance (ESG).
Yeah, the ESG stuff's got to go. And or it could go away naturally. Capitalism,
which is actually it actually is starting to wane off, though.
Yeah, because you get to the point where you actually look at a low you start looking at a low ESG score. All it has to do is be like a Bud Light movement. These are the low ESG companies. Support them, and that's the end of ESG. Because then it has.
But my concern is with Sweet Baby Inc. They're with all of the major publishers, and I don't see any of these publishers publicly removing themselves.
Because at this point they're doing the math and it doesn't pay. You got the only way you do that is make.
You're gonna have to wait for mainstream media and everyone else to back out of the shit before gaming does. Gaming is gonna be one of the last ones that actually.
Well, they're always the first ones that put up the fight, but it's mostly the gaming fans that put up the fight, not the actual
fans
industry.
Do.
Yeah. But fans do, but that's not gonna.
Yeah, fans will actually fight. If you really think about it, the thing that pisses off the left the most is Gamergate is the only social event that they lost in history. In history. And as long as I've been alive, and probably before that in the 60s and what have you, that's the only L they've ever taken. So they found a way around it. If the companies like Sweet Baby, they realized the needed Sarkeesian approach doesn't work. Now they went to the back end. And now that back end's been discovered. So, yeah, no wonder the government's involved. I can see that.
The best thing was finding out about this.
Yeah.
If we never knew about this, we would have continued seeing that games.
Yeah, but but here's the thing.
We wouldn't have realized.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't say so, because like I hear that prior to this knowledge, most of it's like, oh, everything's woke nowadays. I'm not getting that. Like that sucks.
We didn't know why.
We didn't know why, and we didn't know it was we didn't know about Journalist, which is the organization of media personalities that got together to support Obama, right? And Games Journalist, which is a big part of Gamergate. Now we've just found Journalist again. That's what it is. We were finding there's groups of people trying to push their narratives and spin it off as it being writing. This is which that woman described as not writing. That's interfering. That's what it is. And shoehorning. That's all.
Yeah, I'm just not optimistic about games being good for the next few years.
Oh,
sure, we'll
I guarantee
have games
it.
like Helldivers and Pal World, but those will be the lower budget games. When it comes to AAA gaming, I don't see anything good coming out in the next.
No, I don't think it'd be.
You already
it'd be
see that
true.
AAA is dissolving right now. The other ones that you just mentioned are the ones that are popular right now.
True.
So if anything, they're just going to continue to grow, and you're just going to get more of them.
But
so
if I listen to
it and let the other ones crumble.
The stuff that's been funded to me, let's see, what AAA games have I bought? The FIFA. What else? I can't even think.
Wasn't the latest God of War like a masterpiece?
Yes, I heard that was.
That was like one of the last ones, I think.
Yeah.
That was like really generally well received, like praised even. So.
And Red Dead Redemption, but that's like 6 years old already.
Yeah, they came way before.
Yeah.
Not to like change topic, but I actually have a question. What was the assassination in World War One that started World War One? What was that
called?
The
Archduke Ferdinand.
Okay, so in my head canon,
that fucking guy.
In my head canon, hold on. In my head canon, the Archduke Ferdinand is Tipster versus Boogie for Gamergate.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Can someone animate that sequence?
Or the Lusitania. How about this? How about this? The Lusitania being sunk. There you go. There's a metaphor for you.
Vega, you have to make it. You have to make it a cinematic piece, like you would for an Assassin's Creed. You know the opening from Assassin's Creed, I think 1, where he goes and assassinates in the streets. It needs to be like that, but Boogie taking out Tipster.
Oh, you're asking me to do something cinematic? All right, I don't know how to do it.
All right, see you in 6 months.
Fuck. I'll see you in 4 years.
All right,
dude, also this whole movement shit was never gonna work from the get go because it's already too late, right? Most people
but it wasn't about working, Vega. It was about being like you say you're talking about that, and Tommy's saying like, how did this get so far? It was the AI of an investment company with almost $10 trillion in assets under management. That's why.
Yeah. And that's the thing that that Nerd City was talking about a couple months back.
Yes,
Yeah.
if Nerd City actually had a lot of good information on it, that's where I heard about it first.
Yeah.
But it really makes everything fall into line.
By the way, doing a stream on Nerd City. Stick around for it. It's going to be really, really great. It's coming out.
Doing a stream on Nerd City?
Nerd City,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
We got the.
Is this coming back now again?
We got the. No, we're gonna just have some fun with them. We're not attacking them. We're definitely gonna have some fun with them. I'll leak the. I'll leak the thumbnail.
Hey, buddy. No, keep it a surprise.
No, keep it a surprise. All right. I'll
Yeah,
keep it a surprise. Corner Sal's love the show, Tommy. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thanks again. Let me read some.
Carbino's in here.
Carbino, go ahead, Carbino.
So with all this Sweet Baby Inc. thing, why do people don't understand that nothing good ever comes from Quebec?
Is that where they're from? I didn't know that.
It's from Montreal. It's from Montreal.
Yes, they are.
Thanks so much for
Montreal,
the junkie.
So
nothing good. Well, why are you so down on Frenchmen, Carbino? It's terrible.
Everyone hates them.
Because I'm from Quebec, and I'm noticing a pattern with excuses.
Did I ever tell you about
Harvey?
Did I ever tell you the story of Frenchie Ben in Shot from the Point? Well, we used to we used to do a NHL hockey. Yeah, we used to do a hockey podcast. So this is about like 2014, 10 years ago, right? So naturally, when you do hockey podcasts, you goof on the Quebecers, you goof on the Frenchmen, right? So we rarely had people call in. You could call in right during this team, and all of a sudden we see hello. I want to talk to the host, and we had just been railing on the French, right? And he goes, I want to talk about what you're saying about the French people. And everybody's like, oh, you're right about everything you say. And we were like, oh, thank God, because like, I don't know, this guy called me a bigot, what have you, because we were really being ruthless. And then Frenchie Ben joined the crew and was racist with the rest of us. Yeah. All right, let me clear you guys out. Thanks.
Before you read donations or whatever, I just want to give a quick shout out to my podcast Now Recording. We just released an episode interviewing Tommy C and also Nicholas Diorio came on as well. So if you want to check something to watch after Sharpen the Point, you can't get enough of Tommy C, go check out that episode. It's really good.
I think it's one of my better.
Instead of checking out that episode, Tipster went live in defense of Boogie's response. So go watch that instead of Now Recording.
Or you can also watch the broadcast who just came live.
Oh, fuck the broadcast.
No, go watch it.
Oh, I'm not watching that, but
all right, Carbine, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, have a day.
Take care of yourself. Montreal Impact actually playing pretty well these days. Let's see. Let's see too. Shout out to Kenny May Cry for becoming a member, a sub. Hugo Montez, appreciate that. Wow, I think that's a Hispanic name. Why would he want to listen to me?
Listen, fuckhead.
Fallen's now a fuckhead and a member. Corporal Tipster, you don't get it, Tommy. I'm just following orders. Fuhrer Clark told me to do it. Boogie also said, look, here's the truth. I'm not doing this sincerely. I just hate Mexicans. That's what this war is about. Rise up, gamers. We secure the border. Say no to illegal immigrants. That's also for Boogie. Teddy, put Tipster on lolcow live. I want to see you manipulate him into being a gamer gator in real time. That's a pretty good one. Hamas. We're releasing, we're releasing fun politics video games called Call of Gaza. Thank you for speaking out, Boogie. Roses are red, violets are violet. Tipster did 9/11. He was a 9/11. He was the pilot. Benton subscribe. Calamity subscribe. Senate Wormy subscribe. Thanks so much. Okay, Core, cut the stream. Okay, got that one. Donald A. Trump. Thanks to donation, Core, though. Donald A. Trump. That's why I'm choosing Boogie to be my vice president. Make video games great again. Cat Felix, congratulations, Boogie, for hitting 4 million subs. Keep 3 million grind going. I remember getting those when I dropped below 30. Yeah, I remember those. Good. Keep doing that to Boogie. Fuck him. Let's see. Chris.
Has nobody ever learned anything about just not saying anything about subs anymore? It happens
it doesn't
every
really
time.
matter. It doesn't really matter. Subs don't matter as much as you might think. Chris, kindred fella, locked their Twitter at the point, not because it's his Steam group stuff, but it's because they tried going after Dragon Ball's creator after he died. Really? Is that true? Anonymous wrote that. I guess that's the guy that, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I know anything about that. I'll be honest with you. Where's my fucking, I don't want to download that. What the fuck what's that about? Give me my shit back. All right. And that's that. All right, now I got to go to...
Wait, Tommy, I became a Prime sub for fucking Tipster and he banned me in the chat.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I gave him my Prime sub. I didn't even say anything. He fucking banned me.
Oh, God.
You're not cool enough, Matt.
This guy's calling Boogie a bitch. You know? I mean, come on.
It wouldn't let me write. I was going to write something, but it wouldn't let me write it. But I was going to say, sorry about being shadow banned. I bet Mommy Keffels is disappointed.
You're going to write something, so he beat you to the punch.
He beat me to the punch.
Teddy, I don't care if he's sincere, just happy he's fighting Tipster. I think that's how a lot of people feel. Magnetar, Stolen Valor is terrible. Tommy didn't bow or bitch, and that's why he's my favorite angry old white man. Thank you, Magnetar. Somebody, he donated $1, and I appreciate that. Teddy, another $20. Okay, but the funniest version of this is if you type Lolly into... Okay, we did that one. Thank you again, Teddy. Somebody Tipster sucks. Boogie fucks. $5 a G-Man. And with Boeing now, we legitimately have shit falling off of planes in the sky. Yeah, there's some truth in that. And boy, we got some big donations from video games. She can play me all she wants. Teddy with $50. Thanks so much. I can relate to you, Tommy, because I live right next door to a right-wing terrorist. I watched a documentary about a group called Project America 2 days ago. I was walking my dog and I saw this white guy going on a run. This man was a part of Project America. Yeah, this woman might live right down the street from me. It's too big. Corner Sauls, love the show. Tommy donated 50. Do appreciate it. Opinionated Junkie, AAA budgets are too high. Graphics, that's probably true. Frenchie Ben convinced me that he was Tommy on Twitter back when I started listening to SFTP prepaid. And yeah, it's probably true. Roga, thanks so much, everybody. And let's go to the Pats. Call it a day, because you're guaranteed to get a shot when you're a Pat. 100% every damn time. Unless I forget, of course. Then I'll apologize profusely, and I'd get like Zaptai and beg you not to fucking cancel. Remember when that happened? Pledge per month. Come on, gimme. Oatbag, Mex, and Abby Blackbird, Ashley B. Blue Jacket, Cody, Everborn, Latchkey Goth Boy, Little Manly, Nesquik, Panic Pun, Rental Fuse, Tommy C's Cat, Trippy Savage, Who Are You, Irish, and Pilkington, and thank you so much. The other show is Fallen Member for 38 months, by the way. I just saw that. After shows after this, probably going to do at least 30 minutes, and I'll see you there in a little bit. Join the Discord, and I'll see you there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'll do this guy a favor. I'm feeling... Hey, I can't take your call. But I'm going to do a favor for you. I'm going to give you a free invite to the after show, so you can go in there now, even though you're not don't have your membership synced. So maybe you can you give it a shot. All right, I'll talk to you later. And that's it, folks. What? Good one. Good night. Yeah, he took off. I don't know. He probably can't fucking.
As soon as you say you get a free after show, the motherfucker was like, bye.
I'm out of here, bitch. But you can call me later. Bye.